Welcome to this week's edition of our semi-regular Mario Maker feature. It's going to be a Super World Day, and today we're going to look at a Super World that had just come out and was uploaded, I think, within the last day and a half or so. This is by Gilmore, who is a maker who is pretty well known to the stream, I think, as somebody who was one of the contributors to 4YMM with the Rising and Falling 3D World Water level that came on very early in that project, and whose face that you can see to the left of his name shows up pretty much all the time in the world record screens of many of the levels that we feature here. We won't be seeing much of that today, of course, because these are Gilmore's own levels. There are going to be 20 of them, and we'll see if we can get through the whole thing in one sitting, or get at least reasonably close. Let's just play. Okay, going to start off in a near symmetrical Forest of Illusion with a bank of 30 lives. Not a lot of ninjas registering plays on this just yet, but as I said, this is a very fresh Super World, so we may as well just join into fun. This is going to be Bubblegum Gardens 1. And let's see if we are all out of bubblegum. Okay, look at this, very auspicious start right here with pipes decorated in such a way that will send us through a curve, but back up eventually. It doesn't look like this is breakable with anything that we have at the moment. Might just be decorative. Okay, this is bumpable. Why we would do so, I'm not exactly sure just yet, but looks like we just have a lot of immobilized Magikoopas all over the place. Yeah, we can go for that. Safely for once. Now, there's a whole area down in the bottom right that I haven't even touched yet, since I did immediately come over to this path instead. Because it looks like it is a big vertical climb in this subworld, and that was not actually apparent to me at the very start. Yeah, looks like there's not much I can do with that guy just yet. Hello, Penguin Lord. Hope you are doing well. Oh wait, no, that's not how to do it. These wigglers over here just barely out of view, but that's what the one-way panels are for, just to prevent any kind of accidental head bump on your way up. That was a very near thing there with the mole. And yeah, might as well just take this. Oh, I see that we should have considered earlier places where we might have wanted to leave a Magikoopa alive, just in case we could in fact break open some hard blocks that would take us somewhere. But failing that, we'll get a checkpoint. Oh, whoops. Mole right at a checkpoint, surprise. Looks like it's probably just an alternate path that took us, or would have taken us up here. That's where it continues, of course, but I'm not going to check that just yet. I just want to peek down here quickly to see if anything interesting is going on, but I think that is just going to be an alternative pathway. And let's go up. Okay, what do we have here? More Koopa Shell? More Mushroom? Yeah, just a lot of different ways you can go up, in fact. You can see that there are certain segments, like these semi-solids here, that seem to be gated in a kind of one-way fashion. So I believe we just kind of missed that, although I can go back and check if we are at all curious. Not that I can see my footing now, okay. Yeah, let's just check over here. Ah, Cape Feather. Very interesting. There is plenty of room to fly on this level if you look at some of the spacing, but we would have a hard time seeing where we're going, I think. But we don't lack takeoff platforms, that's for sure. Might as well just... Whoops, trying to bump him. And that did not go well, ever. It totally looks like I can go up there. Don't really want to mess around with the Muncher, though. Much was just there for mobilization. Okay. I totally think we can go up. Interesting. Wonder what that was all about. I think we can totally fly up in the middle there. Looks very heavily implied. Like... maybe not. Maybe we don't have a good takeoff platform over here in terms of building up sufficient speed. But it totally looks like something, doesn't it? Okay, here we could have taken off, but I lost that opportunity quickly, and regardless, not a big deal. All this is a 30 coin. If you wanted to go for some kind of speed timing, though, I'm sure that there were all kinds of cape shortcuts all over the place here. Speaking of speed, we are down at about 145. Interesting that the slope actually makes it trickier for you to go like this, but sure, we'll hit the POW. Why not? Yeah, considering that this is a Super World level, I really do feel like this was designed to be replayed for the speed record, because that's just how Gilmore occasionally thinks. Cryomaniac, it's going pretty well today. Hope you're also doing fine. This is a Super World. I should have remembered to actually try to aim for the tape. So yeah, just getting started here. It's been a couple of days since I last played Mario Maker, so just getting settled in with the first level of this very new Super World. The code, for those interested, is of course in the stream title. So yeah, you can see there is a 1-minute record on this currently by somebody who probably found just a substantially better flight path. So, pretty gentle start so far, as you would expect. Kind of like the curvature of the world layout here. I mean, world layouts, when you play a lot of Super Worlds, can just kind of disappear on you and all blend into the same thing, but having this little loop-de-loop with the pipes and water is kind of a nice, shapely thing. Here's a Bubblegum Gardens 2. And same kind of pipe entry. Let's actually dodge that spike. It looks like it's warning us about something to come, I'm sure. Interesting. Now we go up into a cavern. We'll want to go here. If we had missed that opportunity, well, no, we could always go back down, but the idea, I think, would have been to spin jump off some of these spike tops to make our way up. And again, something that I think is probably designed for speed players to have a fun time, but oh, I guess we'll walk this over. Oh, didn't expect it to keep going up, even though that was, of course, the sensible thing for it to do. Kind of want to catch it now, but okay, that's just going to even out. Alright, nothing too much going on here. Let's just proceed. Looks like there's going to be a bit of a drop here, followed by a jump. And once again, a bit of a drop and jump. Just going to scroll the camera up slightly to see what we're dealing with here. Looks like I could potentially tap some of these. Oh, nope. Wasn't expecting to get stuck quite like that. Are all the levels towers? I don't know yet. The first one is, the second one is looking that way. I don't know if that's going to be a unifying concept of the Super World. I didn't know much about this world specifically going in. I just knew Gilmore as a maker by reputation, and from playing some of his other more challenge-oriented designs. Okay, let's move on up. Yeah, it looks like bouncing up on top of the spinies is probably fastest. I kind of like these as climbs, though. As you can see, you just have a lot of munchers here. There's tons of munchers, in fact, just sort of enforcing the dead zone if you fall in the pit. Oh, same mistake. Almost. Should have considered a spin jump last time. Just to stay alive. And yeah, as you can see, these were breakable. Let's not mess around too much. Sure, let's just jump this guy. Mine are head. And I wonder if this will be useful anywhere. It doesn't seem so, at least not yet. Again, as I was saying, tons of potential speed paths all over the place that we're not really doing. Oh, look at this. This is interesting. I think I just need to drop onto donuts and slide across. This is neat. As a little side path. Not that we can keep Yoshi from level to level, but we'll take him anyway. And Mr. Electrodude, welcome, and Melon Rind, our guest of honor, if I'm not mistaken. Let me know if you want me to refer to you as Melon Rind or by your maker name in chat. But yeah, as you can see, we just got started. And I'm, of course, looking at all the speed paths that I'm not really taking in a very quick fashion. But I love this little gate setup here with it just peeking out barely into view. I'm going to miss this freebie one-up anyway. This one has a super optimized clear check time. Yeah, I would have completely expected as much. As I was saying when I was starting these, for once I'm not going to see you or me all over the speed records, but that's because the clear check times are just going to stand there and taunt everybody. But yeah, I can definitely see a lot of the speedrun possibilities that I'm just missing. But of course I'm just playing it in the Super World format, which means I can't do any repeats. At least not for now. So that might be something to look at some other time, not that I'm a speedy player. Okay, let's move on to the next segment of Bubblegum Gardens. This is going to be number 3. As I was saying a little before you came in, I do like that sort of loop-de-loop design of the main world. Interesting. Ah, okay, so it's going to be an on-off state swap, which kind of makes me wonder. I'm sure that this isn't skippable with any kind of standard jump, but... And here, yeah, it looks like there's no possibility of re-entry. Oh, and that's neat. Not that I'm swimming quickly enough, but... we'll go around this way, and we'll give it plenty of clearance, just to make sure I don't run into trouble with that gate. And this is going to send me through. Yeah, pretty interesting so far for a water level. Very unusual mechanics for it. But here we go. Of course, from 4YMM itself, I was familiar with just how much mileage we're getting out of the forest theme when it came to some of the semi-water mechanics. And yeah, sure, let's go for some 50 coins because we're foolish. That's what we do. Looks like the way to go is going to be up. Nope, maybe not. And Taldir, yes, we are doing well. Have a good day at school. Hope you remembered the 3 most populated Swedish cities, if that's what you need for school. I'm sure there was some reason you were quizzing me on the population of your own country the other day, but I'll just assume it's something like that. Whoops. Okay, here we go. As I often say of people who build in a traditional style, including makers who are typically a little more mechanics-oriented, who also build some traditional super worlds. The thing about the traditional style that strikes me all the time is just that it feels like the entity space is absolutely huge, that you just have so many elements to work with. All the munchers on the ground in the previous one, and now again with just all of these very heavy muncher and boo setups. And yeah, I told you I did remember that you live in Sweden. I was just kidding with you. And, okay, here we go. Okay, Piranha Plant is going to try to shoot me, and he's going to miss. I suppose the donut is just kind of like a little pot for the plant. Kind of like that. Oh, it looks like we're going to have a massive donut drop. Unless, of course, there's anything I can bounce on here. You know, like if you grab Yoshi or something and do a bit of a jump up top. Should have perhaps gotten both of those, but that's okay. Oh, I wandered lonely as a cloud. And again, not exactly optimized here, but we'll take it. We'll also take this if it's possible. Okay, good. Just a very relaxed timing there, in fact. This is going to be a slide. Sliding into my own shell. Very good. And, yeah, there we go. Yeah, because a lot of those sequences, like, you know, going up on all the trampolines sending you up to level, and some of the use of munchers instead of spikes to have something that's a little more decorative on the ground in the previous level. A lot of that you just couldn't get away with in a more mechanically elaborate setup. So, always kind of interesting to go back to these to see why Nintendo thought their existing entity limits were acceptable when by that they're getting squeezed very tightly all the time. Okay, looks like it's going to be on-off switch, and you're going to have a platform that drops down there. It gives me a wiggler you stand on. I'm not really seeing any note block jank there, Taldir. I think it's pretty reliable all around. Just wanted to check this, but it looks like it's just kind of like a castle, like a parapet. Oh, interesting. Another pipe down there. That's something I should have thought to check. Might have been an exit pipe, though. But who knows? At least one-ways don't count as enemies now, yeah. Yeah, some of the changes are quite welcome from Maker 1, of course, especially the relaxation of a lot of ground limits. We are going to have a quick request from Cryomaniac for number 77 before I proceed, so just give me a moment and we will bring that up. And indeed, since I'm already on the map screen, we'll just bring that up while looking at the Forest of Illusion, so give me one moment. Sorry, just trying to manage all my data is here. But here we are. And Penguin Lord, I'll get to that request too in just a moment. But here we're going to have Aviator Mario standing directly inside the pool. And he's going to read a very appropriate poem. This is sonnet number 77. Thy glass will show thee how thy beauties wear, thy dial how thy precious minutes waste. The vacant leaves thy mind's imprint will bear, and of this book, this learning, mayst thou taste. The wrinkles which thy glass will truly show of mouthed graves will give thee memory. Thou by thy dial's shady stealth mayst know time's thievish progress to eternity. Look what thy memory cannot contain commits to these waste blanks, and thou shalt find those children nursed, delivered from thy brain, to take a new acquaintance of thy mind. These offices, so oft as thou wilt look, shall profit thee, and much enrich thy book. Thank you very much. Let's switch to Green Mario. Or no, let's not quit. Green Mario will have to take effect beginning with the next attempt after this one. That poem you just heard, of course, was about the famous Super Mario 64 level tick-tock clock. And yeah, Luigi will be next. And yeah, one-ways are still the standard method to do a lot of entity blocking, assuming that you actually don't need any spawners active in the level. I don't find that I play with entity magic all that much, simply because I often build, when I do build, in ways that, whoa, this is fast, require a lot of things like, you know, bullet blaster and pipe usage still, but yeah, entity magic, of course, is perfectly doable. Look at all these entities coming to the left, by the way. Too busy staring at that, and I really need to play. Yeah. Looks like every remaining entity you had available was just used to have this massive column of fire come down and chase me on my way up. Okay, missed the 30 coin, and we'll go up. And up. And up. Wow. Yeah, that probably was still doable with that timing, but definitely rethought how I was going to approach that halfway through. Yeah, Cryomaniac, I'm glad you enjoyed that, and that it's going to send you to a restful sleep. And thank you once again for dropping by and redeeming that. Okay, I only really have time for one mole. Wow, very fancy kill on that second one. Okay, 30 coin this time. We'll do it. Just have to tighten up some of these jumps. We're in a bit better shape this time, I think. Okay, Boom Boom is just going to hang around. Mushroom is just going to spawn when you are respawning from checkpoint to ease up on you if you've already failed the first attempt. And it's kind of neat. It's sort of like the opposite of what Nintendo tends to do in terms of power-up progression past a checkpoint, where they have conventionally, of course, rewarded you for continuing all the way, but this is going to do something that I've seen in a couple of Maker levels before, and just ease up on you instead when you need a little bit of help. Okay. Whoops. With the Koopalings, I often underestimate just how many shell bounces they're going to do. And yeah, thank you, Tall Deer, for dropping by, and do have a good school day. Okay. Nope. The boos restrict a surprising amount of space. Okay, here we go. Trying to get some fancy positioning here from time to time. As long as we don't get stun locked, things should be fine. But Morton's stun lock has a way of just wrecking everything. Looks like this is probably just a symmetry door, but oh yeah, I think so. And we're going to untrap the Yoshis from Morton's cage. So much for Morton's bubblegum paradise. And thank you for the GG. I will be trying to do the whole thing today. I hope that's not overly ambitious, but we'll see. So yeah, once again, we have a world layout that has very pleasing symmetry to it, and a path that kind of winds its way through it. We'll see if that actually remains the case. As I was saying earlier, it's very easy for a lot of super world layouts to just blend in over time, so it's nice to see something that actually has some kind of visual identity. The last couple worlds are pretty tough. Yeah, I know that there's something like a special world that you put in at the end, so we'll see about that. I mean, usually with Super Worlds, it's kind of interesting because whether they have 10 levels or 40 levels, I think a lot of people do end up tuning Super Worlds for a pretty decent length. I find that something like a, 3 to 5 hour experience feels really chunky for something that is big, ambitious, but still streamable. And we'll see how close we get to anything like that. I've just been taking my time with a lot of these, despite not actually dying that much until I got over to Morton's Castle. It's kind of funny. It looks like the placement of these munchers with the yellow turn blocks from Super Mario World is something that's sort of this repeated element. Ah, yeah, that was meant to be a spin jump. This is something that's sort of a repeated design idea that we recognize from the previous world as well, of course. Oh, look at that. There's the chomp that has also decided to hang out from Mario 64, probably. You know, in terms of just a big chomp standing in place. I actually kind of find it too bad that the dry bones in this style absolutely insist on chucking bones at you. I find that it's actually surprisingly restrictive, given that nothing else quite performs the same function that the dry bones do in other respects. I mean, I guess it is something that makes Super Mario World distinctive. But yeah, that fish coming out of the block in a desert is not going to be properly hydrated. And hey, Natcat, welcome. Natcat, we just got into World 2. I have not been on this for very long. But it's been a fun one so far, so. And Mumuga, welcome. Mumuga, you want to play a music game, but you also want to hear the stream. Well, it depends what kind of music game, I suppose. I mean, I don't know if my game sounds are terribly high. This is... yeah, that's just going to be a Mang thing. Doing the side bounce like that. Might as well get used to it. And so yeah, Mamuga, you'll have to let me know what kind of music game you're playing, whether it's a rhythm game or something else entirely. And yeah, Natcat, I think you would enjoy this. As somebody who likes platformer levels that still have a lot of interesting stuff going on, even when they are tuned for higher clear rates. And this is higher than usual for Gilmore, of course, because it's built in the traditional format and built to be strung together. So here's Coconut Canyon 2. Looks like we're going to have a lot of conveyor resistance here, and yeah, that was a momentarily threatening drop. Okay, so the idea is that I want to create favorable conveyor momentum, and that's going to get me over the gap. So we're going to have a gentle little tutorial segment. That's just going to teach me to do exactly that, and also show me some of the possible hazards. This level so far actually feels very much like the kind of NSMB era of Nintendo design philosophy in some ways. If you look at that circular element and then that training section at the very start. Like, it's very recognizably the kind of thing that is like an NSMBU level in many ways, even if it is in the Super Mario World style. Whoa, tried to spin jump over that. I was a little bit late. Yeah, the sub-goal currently is the next benchmark for the next emote is going to be 25, and I believe we're currently at 17. I should actually list some of that stuff from time to time. Now, the idea here is that I do want to... oh no, the mole is actually going to stick around under the one-way panel, but then, if the mole is stuck under the one-way panel, then shouldn't I be able to... run it up. Like that, okay. Very neat. And then here's more conveyor magic coming our way, along with a state switch that will get me up the steps. Going to have infinite mole bounces. Infinite but slow. And thank you for the GGs earlier, of course. Electro Dude, I'm glad you're getting so much mileage out of that. Our beautiful GG emote that we got in from Lecter last week. I've been having quite a lot of fun with it myself, on both Mario Maker and the Scrabble streams. And some other ones besides. Okay, let's be careful here. I'm obviously not quite mastering the timing on the mole bounce just yet. Okay. That little momentum bump of the mole against the one-way panel will sort things out for me quickly. Let's just wait for a whole bunch of moles to spawn first. And then let's try to hit the on-off switch accurately so we have a safe landing location. There we go. Much better. This takes a little bit of planning. Yeah, just looking at what the munchers are doing to the left to prevent landing there. Probably so you don't get any ideas about toggling the switch once again and trying to take a blue belt over. Okay. I love that arrow indicator when it comes to clearly signifying the direction of travel. A mole stuck under the muncher here. That's interesting. Wonder what that's all about. Okay. Alright, let's just wait for the piranha here. I think it's actually theoretically possible to damage boost over that guy, in fact, and get sent all the way up if I do have a mushroom. That's probably a bad idea, but... Oh, I see. I probably missed my window of opportunity here. So if I do have a mushroom next time, I'll probably try that. Just to see what happens. Okay, up we go. And let's wait. Okay, and forward. So yeah, let's see if I can last long enough with the mushroom to try that idea. We'll have to get back over there first. Still don't know what that mole here is about. I think it's just a decorative mole because he had the entities to spare. Okay. Oh, okay, so yeah, this guy only goes low enough, well, either if I bounce top of the mole or if I already move the bottom stack, so maybe this isn't quite doable in the way I want. If I want to check out what's up top, let's just go through. I'm kind of curious about that, though. Don't know if it was anything, but that required a bit of a quick reaction in terms of getting on appropriately, and then we'll do a little bit of a mole ride if we mole to face the correct direction here. And sure, we'll grab a tiny handful of coins. Love the faux castle at the end there. That transplant from SMB1, like it's a ruin from SMB Run. And SMB1 that has just fallen into disrepair for far too long before decaying into the Super Mario World style in a desert. Thank you for all the GGs. Let's actually grab some bonuses for once. We've been kind of taking a net positive in lives since we started out with Bank of 30, but, you know, some things can go badly quite quickly when you get into later worlds sometimes. Okay, actually got a pattern match for once, which is not usual for me. Let's see what the Piranha Plant level in Coconut Canyon 3 is all about. And yeah, Penguin Lord, a lot of pieces still interact in a kind of standard mechanical fashion, even when you do reach the goal. I should have tried jumping on top of the piranha, actually, just to see if the bounce would give me visibility on anything. Doesn't seem so, though. And yeah, again, look at how many entities you are able to spend on each one of these obstacles. Oh, that's neat. Kind of like that it drops in and sits very comfortably, although as a wiggler, that's because it's confined to trying to walk on its available space. Nope, bad jump. Okay. Also kind of wondering, in terms of speed methods, what you could potentially do with some of the springs that we see. You know, whether you can actually get some decent side bounces. Okay, there we go. And drop this guy, and then... nope. I knew something like that was happening, I just didn't aim for it properly. Bang, welcome. Okay, let's go through here once again. And how far did this guy go? Not that far. Grab the mushroom. Drop the wiggler. Let's see if we can make it safely this time. Yeah, notice the trampoline drop was something that I had to get within camera range to activate. Only after jumping from that level. Someone was saying earlier that it seemed like this world had a substantial number of vertical climbs, and that of course remains true here. Kind of reminds me of DKC2 in a way, in terms of just how much verticality there is. I guess SMB2 also had a lot of that, but in an era when vertical platforming was, of course, much less developed in design. No, we do need to take both here. Cordial Snail, welcome. Okay. We've got plenty of time to hang around here due to the wings. I do need to let that piranha pull me up slightly, though. I still kind of want to jump on top of this guy, but given the ground positioning here, I feel like that's not actually going to get me much. 30 coin. Okay. Nope, should have trusted you as a designer. Of course you would have something. Okay, through we go. And here we are. Finally, nope. Still haven't made it safely through that particular slot. No, that's okay. I mean, just have to see how we can proceed from there as we... No. Let's not rush this. At least we got a one-up right before that. Okay. Having a bit of a delayed start here, but also I noticed that kind of multi-segment pipe, that blue pipe in the beginning, just to break things up a little bit. And also make the right angle corner blend in a little bit better, given that none of them are going to look quite as nice as they did when we had pipe stacking in Maker 1. Okay, through we go. Nope. Bad timing there. I mean, I got it just fine last time, but hesitated a bit here in a way that did not quite work. This world is mostly vertical levels, yeah. That's increasingly noticeable. It's kind of nice, actually. Just a nice change from just any odd traditional world in terms of having a very clear sense of progression. And also just a lot of spots that allow you to fail gently, even though you do have plenty of hazard zones, of course. Okay, made it a little further with Mushroom. Whoops. But ultimately not that far. Let's go up. And we catch that piranha on the way down. Pull this with the camera. And let this pull up slightly. There we go. Okay. Once again, that's going to be a camera-activated spring. Let's not be too risky just yet. I do have to go under that next one. And then the synchronization, I think, is going to be fine. Looks like it would be kind of dependent on when the player spawns everything in a certain position, but then maybe some of the spawns are kind of lined up in terms of the spring and the piranha and so forth, so who knows. Feels like there's going to be some, whoops, interesting synchronization when it comes to that element, though. Yeah, reacted to that a bit late in terms of how that was going to go down at the very end, but that's fine. We'll just take the bonus room points on the goal and apply them to absolutely nothing. Thank you for the GGs. Okay, castle time. So for those who came in late, this is a world that does a super world that consists of 5 worlds. So 5 worlds that seem to be 4 levels apiece, 3 in a castle, as you can see. And yeah, it looks like everything was timed according to the note block on a track. Once again, the spike tops for speed players, which perhaps I'm not. That's okay, we'll bop that guy anyway, just to prove a point here. Whoa, no. That went badly. Nice little broken bridge there. Looks like this is in a state of disrepair. Okay, we did want to use the ceiling here. Now... yeah. Oh, not enough of a dash. I do need to time that a little more carefully. This castle, you say, is a bit of a difficulty spike? Well, whoops. Maybe I shouldn't be reading the chat while taking the opening totally complacently. It looks like the Spiny is there as a bit of a speed boost as well. If you have particularly good timing, you can just go over right away. I mean, we can try it. Yeah, need to do a little better than that, of course, but you get the idea. Let's not do that. Might as well play cautiously. Of course, one of the things that is nice about a lot of traditional platformer design when it's done well, which I think often gets overlooked in the context of Mario Maker, is just how flexible a lot of traditional levels can be when it comes to being able to play it fast and play it slow. That's one of the things that I think makes the DKC series really shine, for instance, is that they feel really good at both speeds. I think it's very often true of Mario as well. Whoops. Didn't quite round that corner. I think in general that's a good principle to keep in mind for traditional level sets. Unless they are auto-scrollers, of course. It's kind of good to, or water levels for that matter, it's good to have them respond to multiple speeds and be a fun experience whether you're going for time or going for collectibles. Or really just going for safety. Okay, let's give myself a little bit more dashing room this time. Yeah, just a matter of timing. Yeah, I guess that's just the initial track setup over there. A lot of on-off staircases all over this world. Nope. Badly judged. That's okay. I always check these just in case there's a pig sound or something. Yeah, let's just read this first. And then I drop in and then grab the next one. Okay, actually fairly gentle considering how inaccurate I was being. Then we jump onto this one as well. Nope. And Link Warrior, welcome. And yeah, thank you. Once again, a very similar kind of checkpoint setup that gives you a mushroom on your second try. Of course, we would need to not have that extra tile of headspace work against us here. But the curves of these jumps should be fine, and when it comes to headroom. Whoops, that's going to be Crash Death. Yeah, look at that little curvature on the track there. That's what's throwing me off, I think, with the timing. King Brock, I think it's more of a regular fail. We've had fails much more epic than that. And I'm sure we'll have even more epic ones to come, so you've got lots to look forward to if you're into that kind of thing. King Brock, there is no queue today. If you want the level codes for the Super World that I'm playing right now, it is in the stream title. And I'm sure that if you can't read the stream title for some reason, like if it's not displaying on mobile or whatever, somebody can paste it into chat. So there is no queue today. Now, viewer levels will return tomorrow and the day after, though, if I stay on my usual schedule, which should happen, barring any unforeseen circumstances. Okay, yeah, just needed to read that curvature accurately. That's very satisfying in terms of the amount of spacing that's available. Huh. That's something we had seen before, of course. I think that's just to have... Oh, I see why you do that. It's because this being Super Mario World, you need something unbreakable to top off the vines. And that's more interesting than just something like a hard block interaction, of course. Alright, let's read this accurately here. Okay. Not quite, but so we'll just clip through that because I can. Looks like this is going to be a boss room. King Brock, your eyes were stolen. I remember that scene from Minority Report. So that seems familiar. Oh, okay. On-off switch ejects the Koopas, and we need the Koopas to hit him from the side, because otherwise the Boo is just going to get in the way. Okay. So yeah, it's going to be Morton Part 2 here. It looks like Morton's going to be the Koopaling of the hour. Oh. Oh, very nice of the platform to lift me over to Stunlock. Wild Morton appeared, as opposed to a domesticated Morton. Anyway, lots of gentle resets here too. Keep you... Oh, which... Okay, no, that's Roy who just dies at the beginning, and Morton drops it in his place. Love that synchronization with the Thwomp death, by the way. The Thwomp, of course, is kind of there as part of the initial switch activation mechanism, but the fact that it looks like he's riding it down makes it kind of extra special. Roy and Morton, of course, kind of an interesting pair, given that in Super Mario World that they were the two who would have the walls steadily close in. Investigator Mortons actually make great pets. I don't know, their fire breath would seem to get all over the upholstery. I mean, I guess you could just feed them chili peppers or something. Whoops. It's not even a fire breath, actually, it's just a fire stomp. Okay. He kind of needs to hit the on-off switch so I can get some mechas here. Okay, that's going to be a hit. A palpable hit. And we're going to have a second set of mechas by in just a moment. It's very satisfying to do this accurately. Oh, he's... Okay, that's one way to win. I'll take it. Yeah, so I guess technically if you have the mushroom, you get a free last hit there. We have more uncaged Yoshis once again. And we're going to rescue those as well. So that is World 2. King Brock, that's a good question. Like whether Morton would unstack if you get the jump interaction, because often that does happen with some of the Koopalings as well as Boom Boom, but I'm not sure in this case. You would kind of think that it would unstack, but that's a good question. Yeah, no, the boo stays on. Yeah, I guess it's like that with a lot of... Let me think, because I think Nintendo's rule for that isn't terribly consistent when it comes to which elements actually do stay attached. But then, of course, that's why you would be using something like a Boo Hat here rather than a Muncher Hat, even though it isn't collision-proof the way a Muncher would be. So anyway, this was technically Roy's castle, but Morton decided to be an invasive understudy. And yeah, Electro Dude, having seen some fights like that before with the 2x2 enemy with a 1x1 stack on top of it, it does look possible to make contact. Because I've done fights often enough where something similar would be required, I think. But Roy was indeed not her boy. But we'll see who is guarding the Sky World, which once again is going to be symmetrical. Root beer floating isles. Okay. We'll check this, of course. Let's not check this, though. That seems like it might be a bad idea, but you never know. This doesn't really look like root beer to me, but I guess we're kind of staying in keeping with how Super Mario World originally was also food-themed in this very nebulous way. Oop. You know, where Cookie Mountain doesn't actually look anything like a cookie. Whoop. Okay. I mean, I guess this is up in the clouds, so technically everything is a root beer float. So yeah, lots of Muncher stacks all over the place. We're just going to barely miss that, of course. And over here. Yeah, I kind of agree with that Big Boo would get in the way. I mean, you know, if you're going to take a hit with that method, you're kind of committing to taking 1 point of damage anyway, right? And I think a lot of players would just kind of naturally avoid the risk, but what do I know? One thing that I think kind of constrains players psychologically with a lot of standard Nintendo levels, which is not true in Mario Maker, is the way in which your expectations are conditioned by how Nintendo never requires you to take damage in order to pass anything. There is nothing that's a damage boost by design. We got dunked. Which I think often, psychologically, when you're playing a level that's in that style, leads you to not even consider a damage boost method, even if it is available. Now, Mario Maker is quite a different story, where everybody just damage boosts if they think they can get away with it. But when something's going to take 3 hits, you don't really want to commit to doing something like that until the last hit, unless you are really confident in the fight or in a particular speed pattern that you have going on, so... And I find that I'm generally kind of a risk-averse player anyway. Well, some of the time. And here we go. King Brock thinks I'm going to rage quit. That's an interesting piece of speculation, given that we are only in World 3 out of 5, and I've got quite a long ways to go yet. And Link Warrior was kind of suggesting taking the shell with me. Or are you thinking this shell? So I could shell jump everywhere? It's not a bad idea, actually, but... the taking the shell part, not the shell jumping part. Unless there are any particularly good shell jump skips, which I do not expect. And wouldn't try anyway. But... okay. Once again, yeah, nice little entry point on the saw blade on the right side, just to make sure you don't amble into that pattern blindly. That you have a little bit of reaction time to spare. Nope, once again. Luckily we do have a gentle fall when you fail that part of the climb. Which is kind of the nice thing about vertical climb levels, is that you do have a lot of flexibility when it comes to difficulty tuning in terms of how hard you want to enforce anything. King Brock, I don't know if you are familiar with an old piece of educational software on PC called the Number Munchers, which I think was, you know, one of those early mathematics education CD-ROMs back in the 1990s, but it used to seem like Number Munchers was king of the market back in that day. Whoops, once again, same mistake. Let's not rely on a donut block in the center. That's the mistake I'm making. I should actually go directly for the donut block. Okay, here we go. And up we go. Okay. Whoops. That could have gone badly, but we made it. That's the important thing. Nope. Let's... this is kind of funny because this element here with the note block trains you for what the flag ending is going to be. The goal gate ending, I should say. The fact that it trains you does nothing useful anyway. Oh, this looks like some spot where you can totally shell jump up to the muncher and take damage for no reason whatsoever. Okay. Up we go. And that's going to be fine. Going to check around here. Oh, no. Had second thoughts there, and that was Really not a great idea. You cheese this level? Oh, what, did you just run across and jump from the start or something? Not going to try that, especially when a speed record has no indication of anything that optimal. Oops. At least I don't think so. I haven't actually looked at the speed time on this, have I? 48 seconds, yeah. Did I get the secret P-balloon? See, I don't know whether you take Electrodude seriously on this. But no, I haven't even seen the secret P-balloon. If there is one. Whoops. Okay. Here we are, and up we go. Yeah, sure, we'll just bounce that guy, and... Yeah, some pretty nice timings here, given the way that the vertical world spawning rules are going to work. Ah, there's that 30 coins at the top right. That's something that I had not even considered. Okay. Oh, this could have gone badly. Let's just get out. Thank you for the GGs. Alright, let's loop around to the other side and see what else Root Beer World is going to give us. Root Beer Floating Isles 2. Okay, it's going to have some kind of wave here. Given the skull platform synchronization. Let's actually watch the tracks ahead of time to see where things are going to go. It is something you're able to see in advance, and of course the tracks themselves are long enough that you got plenty of reaction room, I think. Wow, neat little moment there with the Mecha Koopa activation. Really just doing that to scare you, unless you're already going down to the lower level at that point. But well placed to just give you a momentary bit of tension. Or, of course, if you are already dipping down to that point, you would in fact be at risk of being zapped. So, let's ride our way down once more. And everything's going to resynchronize there in such a way that you get pushed over to the top position. Okay. Pretty readable here, just watching the icicles as well to make sure nothing's going to fall on us. Nope. Don't know why I was preparing a spin jump there, probably because I wasn't sure what that spike ball was going to do. But here, I do need momentum from the springs, I think, in order to get on top of the Buzzy Shell on the top. So yeah, I guess a lot of what's going on with the mecha here depends on when we approach it for the activation. And here, because everything is going to be camera-oriented, I'm going to go a little too far. I'm just looking at how some of the spawn times are controlled. Obviously, if you were on the platform, you're not going to have that much flexibility in terms of the camera scroll anyway, so everything is going to look quite safe, I think, even if you do go back and forth on the platforms from time to time. Whoops. Let's get a better estimate of distance there. And up we go. Okay, let's ride this out again. Once again, we got the good blue mecha spacing. Yeah, need a bit more of a bounce, but just need to pull back a little bit in order to get the right landing. But I do want to get on top of that swamp at full speed, and the reason that we need the spring to do that is because otherwise there is too much left to right momentum that comes from riding the skull platform, so we don't want to be dragged by that. We do need spring momentum to make things work, but we'll just have to remember how to pull back out of it. Once again, pulling back a little too hard. Yeah, just kind of a minor correction there when it comes to spacing, but we should be able to get that soon enough. Yeah, a very good fit for the sky theme, and particularly the athletic music in Super Mario World. It's exactly the kind of level that you would think would go along with the soundtrack. Okay, going to pull back accurately. Thwomp is going to take me up, and we are going to have a nice, gentle pipe entry that offers you some vines. Okay, that was a bit of a surprise, but I knew something had to be coming there, so I'm glad that worked out. Yeah, if I want to go for that coin, I'd need to get the second bounce on the red Koopa, then the next bounce on the red Koopa after that. So that's how we'll do it. Yeah, so that's going to be track timed from the starting position when it comes to how that's going to go. And that is also going to... Oh, it's going to be kind of camera-based, I think. So maybe we shouldn't go for that coin if I think I'm playing a little bit blind. Yeah, first track should be 100% consistent, I think. We were just a little bit too slow getting off of this. Yeah, we do need to land on the bottom platform, but I would need to get on top of the double red Koopa much faster if I want to do that. Otherwise, I just don't have time. And I don't find that out until a few seconds later, so just need to be a lot more crisp all around, otherwise we should not go for that. Yeah, we pretty much need to go for that right away, otherwise no chance. Well, this is going to be very cheese bridgey here, cheesy bridge, I guess. Nice little segment there in terms of how the spike tops get moved back and forth. Whoops, didn't expect that. Thought it was going to get a very stylish jump on top of Boom Boom there at the very end. And he tricked me out. Well, so much for that. Whoops. Yeah, Boom Boom's just occasionally tricky that way. Turns out his worst enemy was just himself. No, not enough momentum. I do need to bounce up anyway in order to adjust my momentum left to right, I think. I just need to do the whole thing faster. No, not nearly good enough there. Higher bounce on the first one. Doesn't need to be quite high enough to get the coin if I am not confident in the timing, but I do need much more forward momentum if I'm to make the Koopa on the right. I know. So we'll see about this. I'm still not comfortable with my timing there yet. And yeah, we'll just... I think I do need a little bit of a dash as the platform goes under, and then that would allow me to get on top of the Koopas slightly earlier than I've been doing. That's an adjustment that I'll just have to try out here and there until it works. Okay, here we are. No, too early. Not enough momentum either, so... no, I think I should get the right to left run, but... that whole thing there is going to trick me out a little bit. Okay, having the second Koopa in a slightly lower position actually does help. It's a bit of a height issue, in fact. Love this part here. Distracted by that part here. Kind of wonder if you do some kind of accurate bounce on top of the spike top stack where it gets you, but that seems a little too wild to be anything that's special. Hyperion Smokestack, welcome. Glad to see you here as always. So yeah, we're doing a Super World by Gilmore, who is also Melon Rind in chat. It's 5 worlds total. We are currently in the thick of World 3. And we would naturally expect the time spent to start compounding a little bit as we get into some of the more challenging content. You gotta get back into Mario Maker? Yeah, so do I. I mean, I guess I've been keeping up with it fairly constantly, but not... What is going on with Boom Boom there? He's hitting something, or he's hit by something, but I couldn't quite see what was going on with that gate. Like whether he was being pushed into something here. That was kind of a surprising interaction with Boom Boom. Oh, it's because it's... Was that a POW interaction? Not exactly sure. Okay. Anyway, Boom Boom totally tricked me out. Hyperion Smokestack, you've been buried in a new PS5, so congratulations on actually getting one. I hear there are stock issues for a lot of people hunting one down, and you'll have to let me know what you've been playing. I kind of got a sense on Twitch that Returnal was the big thing that a lot of PS5 players had gravitated to in the last week or so. But I haven't really kept up with that. You made sure to have security escort you to your car. Yeah, very good idea. You know what? He came out of a pipe, right? We can just try this again. Except, of course, we need to take advantage of the fact that we are in airship physics here. There we go. I'm going to check up top, of course, once this guy floats down. Love the subtle ropes under the pipes, by the way. As far as security escorting you to your car goes, I just remember that old story back in the early 2000s with, you know, like people who had hijacked a shipment of PS2s back then, apparently working for the Iraqi government of Saddam Hussein. The thing that was being circulated back then was that, you know, the chips were powerful enough that day. I don't remember if it was, I guess PS3 would be a bit late for that, but it's PS2 that they kind of needed cheap consumer computation that would be capable of launching rockets or something, you know, back when everybody was still a little bit paranoid about weapons of mass destruction. And that's why you have security escort you to your car. Especially if you're holding the launch codes. Whoops. Okay. Not quite. Going just as well, you see, as the other circular element with a note block much earlier. Well, let's just skip to 50 coin for now. Looks like this can be done, but not too much effect unless we know exactly what kind of speed timing we'd be going for. This really does seem like some kind of bonus on the left side. Oh, interesting. Ah, no, that's just a standard path, but that is a speed path, I think, with the fish bones, if you have a nice accurate timing on them. Oh, that's a nice accurate landing, but not a particularly useful one. Okay, up we go. Might be better while small, in fact. Yeah, that circling series of elements actually reminds me of something in another game. I feel like it must be Ukulele or something like that in terms of probably one of the bonuses in that game having a very similar series of jumps from circle to circle. Of course, a fairly standard platforming element in a lot of other games as well. I just had my memory jogged for one specific instance that I must have seen in semi-recent memory. You might have to chill out a bit with the gift subs until you redo the budget. Ah, that's fine, Hyperion Smokestack. You've been extremely generous to the stream and got us over the line for the GG emote, which is something that has really kind of paid off so far in a subjective sense. Just launched a new website. Okay, I see. Is this something that's related to the board game business that you get up to, or is this something that is an entirely new venture? Okay, up we go. No, bad timing. That was ill-advised. Whoops. That was also ill-advised, given that I completely missed when I was trying to set up a decent series of jumps. It's not new, but not necessarily about board games, I see. Yeah, I have some web hosting that I've been paying for the longest time that I've not actually been actively using. I don't really want to give up the site, though, because there's a lot of archival content I don't want to keep hanging around. It's something completely not game-related, not related to my online identity here, but I feel like I need to actually use it actively again as a space. Just to get some mileage out of the hosting I'm paying for every year. As it's been really quite neglected. I do start a lot of web projects sometimes that I don't necessarily keep up with. Nice thing about this Twitch channel is that even though I haven't been on Twitch for that long by many standards, you know, streaming about a year or so, this has been one of the more consistently active things I've been getting up to online. Mostly because, you know, doing this has been very consistently rewarding. Just vastly improved my experience of this game, for one thing. And it was already pretty good to begin with. Whoops. Should have taken those hard blocks into account here. Yeah, of course we're gonna fly. Okay. Nope. Thought I could whip everything, but that's not quite the case. Sure, let's try to jump you. No, not quite. Not quite. That's okay, we're at the gate. Doesn't matter. Subscriptions, yeah, especially with everything fracturing. You've got Amazon, Peacock, and Crunchyroll. Yeah, I've only got the Criterion channel going. I do occasionally activate Disney Plus if I want to catch up on anything there, but I find that I've had less and less time to actually watch any of these streaming services anyway, so I don't just tend to drop them and catch up on things in batches, usually. Thank you for the GGs. But yeah, that's the thing about subscriptions, that everything in terms of content, like you can have the biggest content offering on these services that you want, but the thing is, you really run into a problem with diminishing returns when your time to watch any of that stuff is more finite, and you just wind up with everything balkanized over more payments instead of actually consuming more content. And okay, no 50 coin for me here. Oh, interesting placement. Yeah, kind of wondering how that's going to work. Yeah, lots of springing all over the place. Kind of funny that even though we're in a castle here, it is consistent with some of the elements that we have seen so far in the Sky World. A little bit slow on bonsais the whole way, though, in this auto-scrolling segment. Nope, missed a one-up. Spectacular way to die. So yeah, given that it is auto-scrolled, you get a lot of spawning consistency here when it comes to the drop timing on every single element. Always kind of nice to have that. You know, I think as a maker, there's a lot that auto-scroll just gives you. As long as you know how to design around it well enough to actually give the player some proper headroom, left or right. I don't know if it makes a difference. Let's oh. I didn't even notice the lava coming up the whole way. I guess it just adds a little bit of time pressure as you get into this segment. I'm going to check this just to see, I think. Oh, that's a bad idea. Okay. Bet you didn't count on players being silly enough to do that. But yeah, that's okay. We'll get a mushroom on the second attempt anyway. If we do lose here. And yeah, Hyperion Smokestack, that is indeed an ow. Yeah. Once the emote selection expands, I may replace that one eventually. It was a bit of a placeholder for the first level that I made Mario Maker, which I don't really send around anymore for a particular reason. I'm still proud of it, but it's not very stream friendly. Mostly for reasons of length. But yeah, my very first level in Mario Maker 2 was a POW escort level, and there was a particularly nice piece of comment art that I got on it from Ragnarok X, who some of you may know, who actually managed to stick it out all the way to the clear on that long thing. Gilmore, I think, is actually one of the last people to have cleared that, so Gilmore knows which level I'm talking about. But okay, let's get out of here. Angry Sun deciding to hang around in the interior for once. Yeah, look at that dry bones sinking. I like dry Bowser. And yeah, Hyperion Smokestack, that's really, well, I mean, it's Morton Part 3, but lots of ideas with Morton that we've seen, lots of variety. So yeah, Natcat, I mean, there are definitely things I would do differently about the first level that I uploaded, but I feel like I got a lot of the nonsense out of the way with Maker 1. A lot of the stuff, even going all the way to the end of Maker 1 in early 2019, definitely is not stuff that I would port as is, even if I could, which in some cases I don't think mechanics would hold. But yeah, the first thing I made in this game, it was just a case of something that, well, it was a gigantic level with a clear condition and therefore no checkpoint. And obviously that did not sit well with people who like checkpoints, which is many people in Mario Maker, and also doesn't sit well with people who want a very brisk pace when playing things like viewer levels. Nope, just missed. Really liking this setup here so far in terms of having a massive P-balloon fight where you get out of the sky world in this ship. Whoops. What's the name of this? Valley of Morton. Okay. Very much like Valley of Bowser, except Morton has been all over the place in this super world. It's really been the arch-villain here. So yeah, Natcat, because of that and other reasons, I only really send that level around anymore to people I trust to stick it through, which doesn't come too often these days because it is a time-consuming affair. It does require somebody to actually kind of trust me as maker in advance. Anyway, this has been a spectacular fight so far. Kind of interesting in that it has a bit of a shoot-'em-up feel to it, except we're not shooting anything, just mostly dodging. But in terms of the actual obstacle patterns, and where everything is spawning, you can see that it's very similar to the shoot-'em-up style of Bullet Hell when it comes to everything that you have to navigate. And the P-balloon also doesn't quite move you quickly enough to get ahead of the auto-scroll. If you have a bad start relative to the scroll boundary, you just have to deal with it the whole way. And yeah, it basically is Cuphead, Hyperion Smokestack. I know exactly which fight you're thinking of. With that multi-part disassembly that goes on, where you... I'm trying to remember the name of that fight, but you know which one. It's like the aerial fight where you have to take the enemy apart piece by piece, and you actually have a little bit of choice when it comes to kill order. And I find it was one of the harder fights in Cuphead, but it was one of my favorites because so much of it was about finding the strategy that would work for you, and I always find it very satisfying when you have a little bit of choice in terms of finding the pattern that you're most comfortable playing around, in terms of which element of that giant flying robot you want to disable first. Ah, it kind of is like the Rocket Pack levels from DKC are. That's very true. I always loved the callback to that, actually, in Tropical Freeze, where you see the rocket barrel giant bat enemy from DKC Returns just trapped in the background and all frozen up. But that was always one of the great things about Tropical Freeze World 6, was that it actually would be kind of like a greatest hits retread of a lot of the locations in DKC Returns. It would just be a review of the Returns style Donkey Kong Island. And this is actually going to be pretty short. But straight through we go. Our one-up count isn't quite back down to our initial starting bank of 30 just yet, but... yeah, I mean, obviously you had to dump the whole element budget into that one, but very nice entry. Kind of interesting to have that be the lead-off to Valley of Morton. It resembles in some ways the flow of the final world of SMB3 in terms of how SMB3 kind of hit you with the Armada right away. As I often say, Donkey Kong Country Returns, I feel like, is one of the games that most desperately needs a definitive HD edition. I feel like there isn't really quite a definitive edition of it just yet, so... you know, in terms of having the maximal range of control options for people who don't want to waggle, but also having, you know, full resolution, so you're not confined to the 3DS if you want that kind of thing. But the Switch is such a successful platform that I actually would not mind Nintendo riding it out with more games from the back of the library. More HD ports here and there. More straight ports from the Wii U, even. I mean, I know that for people who want original Nintendo content, some of that's felt rather sparse at times, but... in some ways, this is such a catch-up anthology system for a lot of people. Okay. Interesting that you can go under if you want. So you do have a choice, depending on how quickly you want to go. I know, that's just going to be a straight-up miss. Let's lead the piranha plant first and not fall on top of the fire. Oh. Okay, no, one-way panels are fine. Yeah. I was worried about blocking myself there, but looks like that's going to be something that we just have to mang our way over. Whoops. Oh, should have landed properly. I feel like I was able to get the landing on first try if I really wanted. Now I'm in trouble, I think. No, I can just jump into it, I think. And maybe reactivate the on-off switch instead. Eli has the world record on all of these levels. Wow, Eli's been getting some work done. Ah, there we go. That's plenty of speed. I don't actually have a good estimate of distance when it comes to springs like that. Usually I just tell myself, oh, I think I did this in a Mang level once. Surely it's going to work again. I feel like I just need a lift to take me up. You need something quite accurate to go up on the left side, I think. Actually, I'm just not really seeing how to do that. Okay, we're going to have a bit of a spawn block mechanism here, I think. That gets things going in an interesting way as you head back on up. What's going to happen now? No, it's going to move the blaster gate back to the left. Okay. Blaster gate hits the left. What happens if I hit the third pound to drop those final munchers? Alright, that's going to happen. Looks like that's just going to be one big soft retry then. Whoops. And here we go. Obviously we have to check this stack if I can spin jump on top of one of these. We must check it. Not quite. I feel like that is totally doable though. That's not a problem. Oh, whoops. Ran right into him. And thank you for the lurk. Okay. Look at how the spike balls just appeal all these hard blocks and reveal the skulls as well. Okay, he's gonna squeak at me. That's enough of a secret. That'll do just fine. Yeah, I feel like you can, in fact, speed your way up. No, you need to jump on those anyway in order to hit the initial POW, because that releases that muncher stack that we saw. Yeah. Let's see how this is going to go. Once again, all the bones in Super Mario World are just going to be slightly annoying. Nope, next cycle. Yeah, let's keep the POWs in place for now. They're not actually getting me much yet. Really want them for a soft retry. Seems like the multiple pounds are mostly just to make the hit zone generous. At least that's how I'm seeing it. Okay, now let's spring first and then jump. That's how to do it. Yeah, that's much better. Oh, that's going to be a crush. Yeah, still not sure about that bonus on the left side. Whoa, let's not run into the plants here. Whomps are going to synchronize everything here, and yeah, I think something is going to change that allows me to redo this loop. But let's see about that. Let's see what I'm missing. Okay, jump on that instantly. That's fine. Yeah, it looks like we need... How do we even do this? I mean, option A is we get something like a bone shell. Option B is we do the loop here and see what I'm missing. Yeah, okay, so you do need to go to the left, I think. Otherwise, it just sends you down every time and nothing is going to change. But the world refused to change. Oh, look, there is something different here with the gate. To the left. I see, and if you have another on-off here, looks like there is a bit of a drop point. Something is going to be different. Let's just try to cycle back around. Nope. Next cycle here. Do I want to hit the POWs? Maybe not. Oh, I see. I think if I jump through here quickly enough... Like, when I come down, I get through this quickly enough before this comes over and activates. Maybe something happens. But then why would I do this whole loop in the first place then? That doesn't seem quite right. Maybe I should think about manipulating the on-off state some other way. Still not clear on what to do with this on the left. Let's think about this. Let's see. It's not going to be this. Yeah, you can see that there's the exit pipe that's in the top left, and so I need to kind of puzzle this out. I feel like I'm just going to run it instantly. Yep, there we go. I did think that was going to be it. Mole here. Okay. That's going to lower, and when we get on a mole, that then allows me to get on a cannonball. Nope, not quite. Let's just get another spawn. Nope. Forward positioning. Nice, that was a very satisfying solution, actually, just entirely about situational awareness and sort of understanding that the loop by itself does not actually progress. And there's the bone shell. There we go. Applying the classic principle of giving the player a key before the lock. Oh. Shouldn't have done that, should have just gone forward. I wasn't really reading the on-off state accurately here. We do want to keep the bone shell, of course, so... And that will take me over. I need a cannonball, though, so let's move this thing up. Nope. Oh, okay. Whoops. I accidentally hit the dash button before I landed, which is a big mistake. That's okay. We know how to speed through this now, so... Whoops. We do need to do the loop once in order to get that drop timing that allows me to dodge the on-off gate that uses the blaster, so... Just going to scroll into this segment here. Yeah, kind of nice to have a bit of a light puzzle interaction as we loop our way around this level. Oh, whoops. Kind of got stuck there by the cannon being raised. Oh, no wonder we got so many one-ups. Okay. So everything's going to be fine here. We just hug left and go immediately. Yeah, kind of nice to have that swap timing work the way it does. Going to have to wait for a nice opportune cannonball here. There we go. And up we go. Nope, we maintain the off state. That's going to be fine. Lots of one-ups all over the place. Nope, let's do this again. And let's do this accurately this time. Should actually give me enough height for the bounce. Or maybe not. No, let's just... nope. I think I actually do need it. I want it to be slightly lowered like that. Yeah, that's much better. And we'll see. I'm sure keeping the shell through here gets you some kind of bonus. Or maybe not. Nice little quasi-fortress exit. Once more. Kind of neat to have that checkpoint there as well, because if you did somehow manage to retain the bone shell going up to that position, you could jump over the gates and then hit the checkpoint flag for no reason whatsoever. And maybe even P-jump your way back across. I don't think that would accomplish anything. But anyway, we made it. Thank you for the GGs. Yeah, I really enjoyed the loop in that level. Also, I didn't point out, once again, the symmetry in this world. Much more simple, linear layout, of course, than some of the loop-de-loops we saw previously, but it is going to be another symmetrical W shape. Okay, let's see what the fortress is all about. Valley of Morden 3. Alright, might as well pop in. P-switch, and yeah, we just need to be quick. Okay, that's going to activate the next P. We did need to let the shell get into the trap. We probably want to stop the shell and do that a little more quickly. Wasn't reading the one-way trap very efficiently there, but... Okay, the jumps on the hole are pretty roomy, though. Okay. Nope, going to be a little bit slow there. The shell really does need to be stopped and refired pretty much right away, I think. That's the only way that's going to go. I lost too much time to the shell in general. Nope, that's going to lose way too much time, but no, we should be able to make it to the reactivation. Making to the reactivation solves a lot of issues immediately. Nope. Could have made it if I had spotted that entrance a little more accurately. Okay, I don't know why I'm dipping down to the lower level there. There's no particular need for that, I don't think. Okay. Here we go. Okay, that was close. Yeah, no, bad idea. Oh no, we can make it. And then I need to move the spring, or do I need to jump high enough to spawn something on top of the muncher as it's falling? I don't know. We'll have to look at that once more and see what we can do about it. Whoops. Totally bungled my spacing that time. Yep, bad start, but that's okay. The start is fairly gentle before you get to the first P-switch reset. Okay, up we go. Yeah, I see where that previous death was coming from. Down, Kind of looking at that track to see what's going on there. I wonder if I need to just dump the spring on top of the muncher, in fact. And then do it that way. Okay. This is going to be fine. And that's going to be checkpoint. Yeah, reacting a little bit slowly when I got to the muncher there, but just enough room to work with. Hey, Roy's actually going to fight for once instead of letting Morton do all the work, but I guess Roy is just in the second last level in this world, serving out his apprenticeship. Yeah, Roy I find to be extremely interesting when you create a space that's able to control his spawning locations in a way that's going to keep the player sort of able to play around him in a way that's relatively controlled. You can kind of see that the spike locations down below, even though they are a potential spawn point, are there mainly to prevent the issue of donut blocks having dropped out already and Roy dropping into the abyss. Now let's watch the chomp timings. You can see that there's a bit of a difference in synchronization because of the green versus the blue pipes. And let's see here. Yeah, Roy's just going to peek around and... Oh, but have to get out of there. Roy is one of those Koopalings with a shell pattern that always goes maybe 1 or 2 bounces longer than I expect. Terminator, you thought today was Saturday. Wow. One reason you know it's not Saturday is because I'm not running the queue. But welcome anyway. You know, it's no harm in having an extra day or two at your disposal before the end of the week. Okay. And Hyperion Smokestack, glad you're enjoying those emotes. Oops. Nope, got Stunlock there, and Stunlock actually is spaced in such a way that the donut block will just barely kill you. Yeah, so hence the donut block spacing over the spikes on the bottom. It is meant to be set up such that Stunlock equals death. Roy does this thing where he peeks his head out sometimes and looks totally hittable, but isn't. That's just the way he goes. Let's get way out of there so he can bounce around all he likes before deciding to reposition himself. Nope. Terminator, you just uploaded part 5 and 6 of Yoshi's People in Spectacle. Looking forward to it. I I think I also still had to play part 4 now that you mention it. Because I think I only got as far as 3. Since that was all you had completed last week when you were submitting those. So yeah, hopefully we'll be able to get through some of those and do levels this weekend. Nothing messes up a Friday quite like realizing it's only Wednesday. Oh, I don't know, a couple of things can mess up a Friday. Even worse than that. Like, you know, imagine that you... I don't know. Decided to dine at TGI Fridays on a Wednesday or something. I'm sure that would make all the difference. Oh. Nice dodge off that middle chomp there. Hey, we actually got the 50 coin, which I wonder... Oh, I guess it's just kind of a pick-a-door reward, so we'll take it. So yeah, you just dash into some door and you draw the corresponding coin. Nice way to not only spend all of the key doors that are available in the main world there, but allow yourself a way to set up the exit door symmetry in an interesting way. I mean, with a setup like that, you know, with all the chumps falling down and such, you do want the player to be able to get out of there in a panic. Which is exactly what we did. There's lots of ways to mess up a Friday, like how there's lots of ways to ruin a wedding. I feel like George R. Martin probably wrote something about that. Not the bit about Friday, but you get what I mean. It was Friday, and then everybody died. I've never actually seen the Game of Thrones HBO adaptation, actually. I just read the first 3 books ages ago, back when there were only 3. Nothing ruins a wedding exactly like when the guy you're pretending to be shows up. Kind of an issue, yeah, if you are actually somebody who's a professional body double. That feels like the kind of thing that probably is a Hitman level or something. I've been playing a little bit of the... Okay, I've been playing a lot of the 2016 Hitman lately. Like a little bit in late April, perhaps. And there's a lot of stuff that's exactly like the kind of scenario you're describing, where you just solve something by taking over somebody's identity. It's much more like a point-and-click adventure than I ever imagined, in some ways. Okay, you do want to go Koopa to Koopa there. I was kind of imagining, okay, maybe spin jumps actually do a thing for me there, but nope, we just want to unstack, we want to blow these guys out right away. And then we want to stall for as long as possible on the bloopers until we get a crack at the Goombud that's coming in, or Goomrat. I'm getting Goombuds and Goomrats mixed up, but I believe it is the Goomrat here. Yeah, it's going to be kind of a right-to-left thing where I try to maintain height over the bloopers, but I do need to swing around the icicle. But I do want full height, otherwise I don't think I'll be able to stall for long enough to make that happen. Okay. No, spin jump. I just hit the wrong button. You can't play Hitman because you have a problem with stealth games. I wouldn't imagine necessarily that you had a problem with stealth games, but I guess I didn't have the information to tell either way. I enjoy stealth games a lot, especially when they are not just action games, but very, you know, tactical in ways that don't require you to be accurate and just ask you to be crafty. Best one I've played in recent memory, and I say this Hyperion Smokestack, partly because I vaguely remembered you to be an XCOM person as well, is Invisible Ink, which, like Invisible Incorporated, basically. Invisible, Incorporated. Invisible Ink is basically stealth XCOM, and it is absolutely amazing. Partly because nothing in that game actually depends on hit chance, like the only randomization is in stuff like the maps and some of the itemization. But, you know, your moves in that game are pretty much completely a factor of how you are basically, you know, plotting a perfect series of takedowns. And it's probably one of the best XCOM-style strategy games I can remember from the past many, many years. You like to barge in guns blazing. Okay, maybe you weren't an XCOM person. Whoops. No. Normal jump over here, spin jump later. Let's not get things mixed up. But yeah, I don't tend to shoot well enough to barge in guns blazing in any situation, so... I like games that respond very well to choice and craftiness, because that's just how I manage. Yeah, XCOM, I guess you kind of play more of a shotgun assault style. I mean, I've done that too. Kind of interesting that pokey at the start. It seems to imply that you can do like a really swift spin jump early, perhaps. Nope. Yeah, actually in the Firaxis XCOM games, XCOM and XCOM 2, I really did get a lot of mileage out of the shotgun assault style. Felt like that was particularly well designed as a class. I still haven't caught up on the War of the Chosen content in XCOM 2. That's just been way at the back of my mind for the longest time. I did hear it was a very substantial expansion, so... Oh, there we go. Whoops. Yeah, once again, have to watch the pipe timing a little more accurately. Somebody upstairs is having a wild fish and chip dinner, and we have to pay the price. Yeah, seeing the thwomp come down at a time actually screwed me off slightly. Kind of wonder if you did do spin jumps, whether you could just go up the thwomp. But maybe spin jumps just don't give you enough height in the first place, and that it's not actually a possible interaction to spin jump on top of everything all day. Oh no, there's a muncher on top of the thwomp anyways, precisely to prevent shenanigans like that. You had fish for dinner. Crab stuffed salmon pinwheels. That sounds amazing. Gotta put seafood in your seafood, so it can seafood the seafood. And, okay, here we go. It does sound very, very tasty. I was actually ordering some Indian food in a few days ago, and I rarely actually have like fish dishes with Indian food, but I had a really interesting salmon tikka, which was kind of very unusual. Very tasty, but definitely a little out of the ordinary for my experience with Indian cuisine. here we go. Alright, let's get a bit of a dash going into this. There we go. Let's get out of the way of the pipes. I was going to check up in that location, but looks like we wouldn't have much of an opportunity to stick around there anyway if we wanted to get out safely. I mean, feels like you would kind of expect players to check the pipes, though, just in case anything happens, so... Maybe I will burn one attempt on that just to see what's going on and satisfy my curiosity. Yeah, once again, pulling back a little bit on the dash. Not getting enough momentum. Like, you're able to make that jump with the spin jump to begin with because the piranha is falling. If it weren't, you would be a tile short, I believe. But I'm still not taking good advantage of that spacing here. Yeah, it looks like it's probably nothing upstairs, but we'll check. Nope, that bad idea. Oh, bad idea. Okay, no fish dish for us. Not actually that hard to make, but it looks super fancy. Yeah, pinwheels often do. I've got to say, when I'm making anything for myself, I don't really put much into presentation. But I think cooking is just one of those things where, unless you are one of the people who knows how to take a lot of inherent pleasure in developing it as a skill set, as a lot of people rightly do, for the same reason that we work on Mario Maker, for instance. Until you get to that point, it's very difficult to justify the effort it takes, I think. Okay, so yeah, that's just going to be a little bit of a Morton scare. He's going to try to kill you, but that's more of an introductory room as you get into checkpoint, and looks like all the skulls are telling me bosses are coming. Or a boss is coming. That is a super secret area. Oh, okay. I think I quite understood what was quite so secret about that, but let's actually read this fight properly. Yeah, it looks like I am supposed to get out and over somehow. Oh, you're actually formally trained when it comes to cooking. Okay. Yeah, the idea is to get on top of the springs. The springs will take you over. Or, of course, you could just take a quick damage boost, or you could just duck here with the bone shell. But you would need these springs. Jumping on top of fire, yes. Okay. You jump on top of fire with the bone shell, and then you use the bone shell to jump on top of the spiny. Okay, I get it. I get it. I just needed to read the fight. But the Bowser fire is going to be so high and so random that unless I do a jump on top of another shell, I don't think I can actually get on top of a flame. Oh. That's okay. It's going to be a surprisingly gentle fight in some ways, but if it allows me to take damage quite like that. And, you know, this is World 4. I guess with the bonus world coming, this is technically sort of like a final boss anyway. This doesn't look like Morton at all, even if he is spreading fire all over the ground. Okay. Nope. Just give me another shell, please. There. Oh. Never mind. So yeah, we have yet to make the bounce. Looks like I do need to get up there with the shell intact, though, otherwise the spike top is going to give me issues. Yeah, it looks like I probably want to bounce and then bounce. Nope. Ran out of ideas for Morton fights. That's alright, you had plenty going on. Especially after seeing Roy get hijacked. Whoops. I need to rethink this because I feel like Bowser Fire at its current height is not going to do the trick for me. It's just a little out of range, which means that one thing I should consider is not that, but Maybe... Let me think about this. I obviously can't jump over there without some kind of protection against a spike top. But it does seem like there's a bit of a strong implication that you can do stuff like that, for instance. But I think the way I'm reading this pattern is it's going to be jumping on top of fire with the bone shell, and then hitting the spring, and then hitting the spike top, while the bone shell is still intact. That's how I'm reading it. But the fire seems consistently out of reach even in the lower position, so... That's going to require a little bit of thinking, I think. Just to see what I can even do here. Oh, whoops. Totally misread that. Yeah, just looking at what I can interact with. That's going to be death, probably. No. Surprisingly survivable in some ways. Okay. Yeah, we'll have to see about this, because it seems like jumping from... like, when you're into bone shell, jumping from bone shell into fire looks like it's barely out of reach. I feel like it must be it, but you have to be fairly accurate. No. Could be something I'm just totally missing about this. You know, like getting on top of this position, perhaps? That might be promising. Oh, nope, that just squishes you, even if you are in the invincible form. People forget you can throw the shell. Oh, you know what? Interestingly enough, though, using it in the bone shell form, first of all, it gives you a second shell. But also gives you the ability to survive. Yeah, no, it's just, you know, how often do you actually throw the bone shell? That's probably the thing that was throwing me off here. Okay. Gives you a lot of protection, in fact. Nope, not that much protection. I do have the sense that the bone shell punishes you more than usual for holding down the dash button all the time, especially when you are trying to do a bit of an accurate landing into it. Nope. 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 It's poor accuracy here. But yeah, surviving with the shell, but also tossing the shell. That's a nice kind of double usage of it. And I was about to say that tossing the shell into the spring should hit pretty consistently, but then, of course, just as I was thinking that, I missed. Whoa, okay. It's going to be an issue. That's okay. Yeah, let's not lose the shells. That's kind of important. Pretty neat to see that alternation of debut from either side, though. I believe it is just probably something conveyor timed underneath. Okay. Come on, give me a shell, give me a shell. Nope, I just missed. Yeah, we'll see. It's, oh, it's partly because I'm throwing, I think, a little too close to the center of the spring still. when I'm doing that, it's actually deflecting off a slightly different pattern. Yeah, I mean, you can't say I didn't ask for it when it came to the shell. And yep, Arc 103, that's exactly what's going on here. Appreciate that Thwomp Bowser warning. Seems like the time for warnings may be over, but we'll take it. Okay, that's gonna be a hit. Let's watch the burner location at the bottom so I don't get any surprises on that score. Yeah, you can see that it is a matter of throwing accuracy. It's not just a jank thing, it's just that you do need a nice solid hit to the left of the spring rather than the center. Okay, we need to recover here with another shell. Watch the burner. Okay. It's got kind of a nice rhythm to it once you get into it, but here you are. Hey, we actually got rid of that. Okay. That will probably not be helpful, actually. Kind of nice that you did have the screaming sound, though, all lined up for the eventuality that the spike top gets nuked. Okay. Like I said, really satisfying when you do get it, but we'll need a few more hits than that. I'm trying to think about Bowser here. Small Bowser. Trying to calculate this in my head. Should be 8 hits, right? Or am I mistaken? Because he should have an regular sized Bowser. I'm trying to think about his hit point pool. I believe it's what, 40 or? I sometimes can't remember between big and small. But anyway, we'll just try to hit and not do that. And okay. And yeah, given that we've still not completed that Electrodude level that had been kind of a regular occurrence on the stream lately, if you so generously gift Electrodude a sub, you get what you're asking for. That's for sure. Oh, kind of a very near thing on that burner just now. Miss. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. There we go. Try to duck out of that, and that was not quite successful. The burners are sometimes camouflaged in a way that I do have to be very alert to them. If I'm not alert to them, it will catch me off guard. Whoops. Oh, that's going to be a problem. Almost. Seven hits, okay. Yes, because a small Bowser is going to be 20 points, I guess you do 3 damage per hit. Right? If it's doing the same as icicle damage. Hey, that's going to hit both. Okay. Yeah, I have to remember these things because too few people actually take advantage of using regular-sized Bowser, I find. I mean, obviously for a setup like this one, you do need regular sized Bowser just to get things comfortably on the screen, but it seems like a lot of people who go for bosses just go big by default. Even if going small would actually be much better for the fight. Whoops. That's okay, I mean, this is technically the final boss, even though we still have one world to go. Whoops. So I think the tuning on this fight is pretty appropriately difficult. Whoops. And Clockwork Castle had a small Bowser. Yeah. That's right, I'm trying to think back to that. Although, first priority will be just to just try to clear this. And hopefully not run my life count down to game over. No, I keep getting 1-ups here, never mind that. So I'm just hovering around the 48 mark the whole time. Nope, missed the up throw. Have a bad input there. Nope, missed it again because I was adjusting to get out of the way of the burner, and the release timing was not quite right. Okay. Nope. Let's watch the burners. The burners do have a very consistent spacing and pattern, it's just that your eyes, you have to be in multiple places at once, it seems. Bad idea. Should be so bold if I was not going to stop the additional shell. Okay. Not quite, but best I've done so far is probably 3 or 4 hits, I think. We have a long ways to go. But I did have one decent attempt earlier where I was settling into a nice pattern. I find that a lot of it is just throw accuracy, not quite coming together for me, and also just remembering to watch the burner patterns at all when I'm out of the shell. It's kind of interesting that you do need to take that risk with the bone shell of stepping out of it just to do any throws, and so there's a kind of nice little balance of risk and reward here where in order to attack you need to risk getting burnt, and it's kind of nice to have a risk reward dynamic like that that still allows you to have some gentle retries and resets. Whoops. Saved by the damage boost. It's kind of nice too that despite the constant presence of having a damage boost available, that it doesn't trivialize the fight. The task just kind of remains the way it is, totally independent of that. Nope. Bad idea. Couldn't catch it. Occasionally, still trying to be a little bit too risky. Okay. No, let's hold this for the next round here. Get in position. Dodge the burner. Miss. Okay. Just need to take the opportunity to watch the burners whenever possible. Nope. Let's just wait this out. The burners are predictable, you just need to be careful and situationally aware. Oh, thought that was going to go down a little ahead of time. I was counting on the burner to disappear just a fraction of a second earlier. That was not quite right. Oh, that was just a miss. Nope, that was a disaster. That's okay, we'll just keep going and push at it some more. Okay, got that guy out of the way early. Removed his hat. Nope. Once again, trying to up throw and side dodge at the same time. That does not tend to work out well. And Petit Raptor 69, welcome. Whoops. Nope. Try to duck into that. That was a little too slow. Seems like when you land, there is a little bit of time before you are able to employ the Dry Bones invincibility. I don't need to jump into the up throw, of course. I don't think. I believe up throw in a standing position will do just fine, but sometimes I do still have trouble with the positional adjustment. And oh yeah, Petit Raptor, no, we're not doing puzzle levels, but we are doing a super world. I forgot to turn off the bot message for that. Viewer levels, however, I'm doing it tomorrow and the day after in the same time block. I'm not doing it today because we are just doing the super world right now. But yeah, thank you for the reminder to take that bot message down. Oops. Okay, here we go. Just gotta be extra cautious, I think. Watch the burner pattern as much as possible whenever I have eyes to spare. Whoops. I say that, of course, just as I die to the burner. These burners absolutely deserve a race. They've been putting in the work. And, okay, here we go. Spacing is fine, too. It's just that they add a certain amount of multitasking to the level, which can make things escalate quickly in a way that's really difficult to place because it often depends on how comfortable a player is with keeping their eyes on two places at once. It's going to be a little challenging for everybody, I think, but it's definitely one very specific Mario skill set where you're going to see a fair bit of variance. So we'll just see how that goes. No, you do need to jump into the throw, okay. Okay, that was nearly disastrous. Nearly disastrous is thankfully not just disastrous. Okay. Yeah, tiny bit of a jump there will do the trick. And, okay. Yeah, getting into position for the next throw is something that can give me trouble. I'm not even counting hits at this point. I don't feel like I've gotten that many hits, to be honest. Yeah, a lot of it is just crashing onto Muncher, in fact. Okay. Yeah, just straight up missing sometimes. So, notice too the additional shell that's just been stuck on a side the whole time. There we go. Finally a hit. Okay. Nope. Once again, poor release. And yeah, Electritude, that's a good way of putting it. The burners are absolutely on fire. They've really been cooking it today. They've been turning up the heat. Whoops. Nope. Okay, so we could be doing better, but gradually figuring out what I want to do with the pattern in terms of getting one throw immediately after coming out of invincibility. We'll watch the burners. And yeah, if I can just go invincible in the position that I want to be my next throwing position, then maybe I'll be fine, but it depends, of course, on how the burners are restricting space. And given that the timing is something I have to play reactively around every time. Nope, we'll stay in. Stay in here. Nope. I think I need to train myself to do that shell jump like input where you do have to hold on to the jump button while you're throwing. That's something I don't have good muscle memory for, as people who have seen me play shell levels are well aware. That's up to the point when I started doing shell levels for the first time, I always had this habit of releasing jump when I also release dash. And, you know, in standard Mario games, that's perfectly fine, right? That's never been a problem. But for Mario Maker, that gets you into a lot of trouble, and here we see that sometimes I'm taking jumps that are too short as I go over the burners, precisely for that reason. Okay. Nope. Yeah, first priority is just don't get hit by the burners, so. Okay. That's actually going to be a hit for once. Oh no. Oh no. There we go. That's going to take damage, but that's okay. We survived. That's the important thing here. Let's just wait for the next cycle. Nope, lost a shell. Wait for the next cycle. Let's just position ourselves at a time. And watch the burners. Nope. Nope. And okay, Cordial Snail, we're going to cash in your request for number 18. Maybe that will be precisely the assistance that we require in order to push through this as stylishly as we would like. So, thank you for the request. Let's, oh, you know what? This is, of course, an all-time classic. Even those of you who are very casually into Shakespeare will probably have heard this. Number 18. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May, and summer's lease hath all too short a date. Sometime too hot the eye of heaven shines, and often is his gold complexion dimmed. And every fair from fair sometime declines, by chance or nature's a changing course untrimmed. But thy eternal summer shall not fade, nor lose possession of that fair thou owest. Or nor shall death brag thou wanderest in the shade, when in eternal lines to time thou growest. So long as men can breathe or eyes can see, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee. Last time Hyperion Smokestack heard this, it was Greg Davies impersonating Chris Eubanks. Those wouldn't happen to be marble racing commentators, would they? Oh no, that's Greg Woods. That's the marble guy. Okay. Well, that seems to have brought us no additional luck, and it seems like Bowser is not very flattered by being compared to a summer's day. And we'll have to try this once again. Ah, okay, no, now that you mention who they are, I think that rings a bell. don't think I know Greg Davies' work as a comedian, but maybe there's some specific sketch that I would be familiar with. I used to be much more up to speed with British comedy. That has not been the case for some time. So. Nope, 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 nope. So yeah, this fight has been a bit of a sticking point. I mean, we were kind of overdue to run into something like that eventually, but... And it's very appropriate, I think, that it's going to be the final boss in the second last world that does that to us. And yeah, Hyperion Smokestack, that would be quite an interesting thing to see by the sound of it, so you go ahead and drop that in the Discord channel. Whoops. Missing the up throw. Nope, missing the up throw. Yeah, once again, I have to remember to hold jump into the throw there. That's still continuing to be an issue every time when I have a burner timing that isn't quite opportune. Okay, so this is giving me some trouble. It's a good fight, though. I do think conceptually it's very sound. Did burn a lot of attempts early on, just forgetting to throw to shell, of course. Nope. But yeah, lots of opportunities to get yourself to safety, but without taking away from the overall sense of risk. Nope, needed that shell just a little bit earlier. Nukukaza tap tap taparoo, not quite. The P balloon level was already a few levels before this one. You did miss the P balloon rocket barrel boss. So we got that tap tap taparoo. Oh, okay. No, you're talking about the Happy Gilmore itself. No, this is just a world that's by Gilmore. I've never actually seen Happy Gilmore. The only Adam Sandler film I've ever actually liked is Paul Thomas Anderson's Punch Drunk Love, which is very out of the norm for things involving Adam Sandler, so... I guess somebody was bound to call me on that eventually, so... Well done, Nukukaza, for spotting that. Okay. Nope. That's gonna be one shell disaster after another. Actually, I'm trying to remember if I would have seen Happy Gilmore. I may have a long time ago. But... yeah, it was something from that sort of early Adam Sandler era that I might have seen. But I remember seeing Punch Drunk Love back when it came out, and sort of thinking at that point that, you know, he's actually got some potential as a deeply underrated actor in the right kind of role. But then he had... Adam Sandler just had his own brand by that point, I think. I didn't see that thing that was sort of talked up for awards a few years ago. I'm trying to remember what it was. There was that big Adam Sandler comeback film of sorts that was actually taken very seriously by the Hollywood establishment. The title completely escapes me. Terminator, it wasn't Rain on Me. I'm thinking of something else. Uncut Gems, I think. Yeah, Uncut Gems. And as I said, I don't actually keep up with that. No, because I was setting up the stream and I was typing Super Gilmore World into my title, and I realized, you know what? We might as well just call it Happy Gilmore World. It's likely to be a happy experience, as you can see here from the many, many deaths I'm taking on this boss. Oops. I wonder if I could jump off the thwomp and ground pound on the edge of Bowser. I mean, if you peel off the spike top first, I don't know about that. I feel like the height check isn't going to quite give me the right curvature for something like that. I feel like I am already going for the safest method. It's just that I'm bungling it all over the place and have been doing so for quite some time now. I see what you're describing, though, in terms of what you would like to try. I think you would enjoy the P-Balloon level in this one, by the way, Dukaza. I mean, it's a very standard P-Balloon flight, but the level itself is quite the spectacle. And okay, here we go. I mean, you'll have no trouble with it whatsoever as our resident flight master, our Montgolfier. Whoops. Of course, the whole super world, as we've discovered, is well worth doing in a sequence. Felt like it's been a pretty well-tuned experience so far. We just ran into a huge roadblock here that's going to reveal some kind of spectacular clear time by the time we're done with it. See, at this point I'm trying to think back to what castle this was leading up to the boss, because that has receded so far in memory at this point. Yeah, if you land on a bone shell right after it's shot, in terms of trying to do that, yeah, I'm not going to try that. I can see why that's something you would think about in playtesting, but wow, his helmet is actually just going to completely deflect that one, even though in the past we've managed to peel it. Okay. Okay, that's okay. We'll just try to recover safely. Need to not lose attention to the burners. This is still something that has been a persistent problem for me in this level. Just not watching the burner positioning when a lot else is going on. Nope. It helps to not miss, too. Kind of important to not miss. Okay. Nope. Yeah, just need to watch the burner cycle carefully so we know it's going to be totally safe. Let's actually remember to up throw this time instead of mixing up inputs. Okay, actually healing that only to die. Dukaza, I believe it's Valley of Bowser 1. It's just a straight-up P-Balloon bullet dodging or rather fish dodging level, but I thought it was very pleasant to look at. Again, you'll have absolutely no trouble. You actually know how to fly the thing. Whoops. Once again, should really be watching myself rather than watching the shell hit. If the shell hits or misses, whatever, it doesn't matter. But I do need to stay alive, so I do need to be watching my feet the whole time. So yeah, I feel like this is the kind of fight that the only way to really resolve the problems that I'm having with it are purely through attention management. Like, figuring out a better pattern of what to look at any given time, which is not something that you'll necessarily be able to witness on stream. It's the kind of thing that you would need some eye tracking to really perceive when it comes to what's going on my end over here. I am the first person to die on that spike by the looks of it. That's the first X that is marked that spot. Phase 2 might be pretty rough. Yeah, looking forward to it. Have to get to phase 2. Okay. Nope, do need to jump into that thing to do anything accurate with it. Okay. 2 hits. Let's wait. Oh, this burner's going to be a problem, almost. That burner's not going to be a problem. Okay. Okay, let's dodge. Dodge. Shell, please. Shell, please. Nope. Too late. Alright. Let's get out of here once again. Oh, I actually got hit that time. Okay, no, let's not watch whether we got a hit or not. Let's watch the burners. Always watch the burners. Nope. Bad release. Okay. All the way over. Nope. Not quite. Last shell is going to come out just in time. Okay, let's recover. Well, there is a tiny bit of steady improvement. Just not enough to get me through this just yet. Yeah, clear time is going to be spectacular. Okay, watch the burners. And okay, next burner is going to come in this way. Ooh, a little bit too late there. I need a shell. Should not stall for that long because I will not be able to guarantee getting a replacement shell for the dodge. So. Okay, going to peel the helmet right away. That's going to help. In case there are any strange deflections that don't quite work out. Yeah, once again, I just can't afford to watch my own throws. They either hit or they don't. And if I spend any time at all watching the throws, I will get hit by the burner. Okay, round. And... okay. Glad I had a little bit of a repositioning there, since I did find a safe window of opportunity. Be doing that? No, we need an X shell. We do not need to risk throwing that time. Okay. Let's just cycle through this patiently. Not make too many unforced errors. Once again, yeah, nearly got burnt there for the same reason that I was just staring too long at the shell itself to see if it would hit. We just need to release and go. Release and move. Okay. Let's wait. dodge the next burner here. Nope, too late, too late. Yeah, one thing I'm not tracking very accurately is when a shell from the blaster is actually going to be available. Now, of course, the thing about sitting on that perpetual 49 lives thanks to the 1-up at the start of this fight is that I actually have no sense whatsoever of how many attempts I put in. I definitely would have hit game over by now were it not for that. I feel like I've definitely put in over 50 attempts. Not even on the level, but certainly on the boss alone. Okay. Nope, total miss. Okay. It's fine, let's just stay in a decent position, get out of the way of this guy here. Oh. Nope, next shell needs to come out now. Now, nope. Yeah, that point vertically is too close. That is, the shell is not even going to land before I have any kind of opportunity to get into it, so... Yeah, really just have an opportunity to get one shell and jump into the next. I don't have enough flexibility to wait for additional shell spawns. So we'll just try to cycle through this as accurately as possible. Not get hit by any of the shells along the way. Okay, that's feeling pretty good. Nope. Okay, wait for the next cycle. Let's not mess around too much with the established timing. Nope, missed the up throw. Let's wait for the next cycle. I've been at this boss so long, you've had to switch devices. Oh, because I ran out your battery. Well, do appreciate your commitment. Okay. It's alright, we were staring at puzzles for like 2 hours at a time on my last stream. This is really nothing in comparison, it's just that a lot of mistakes have been repeated. And yeah, I was quite happy with that previous attempt. The one that went well, I guess, which was a few attempts ago now. Yeah, this is very deceptive in a way. Nothing about this boss looks as hard as I'm making it. Just that you do have to watch quite a few things going on, and quite a lot can go wrong, like that, for instance. Okay, that was a more graceful recovery than I expected, but now I'm dead, because the shell just took way too long to die on the other side. So yeah, okay, I guess if we're going to measure attempts in battery life, then we kind of know what's going on. But yeah, this has been a sticking point for longer than some entire worlds in this series so far. Kind of unexpected. I didn't think I would have that much trouble all of a sudden, but I think it's, once again, just a matter of players and their respective skill sets, and this one kind of really playing to a lot of my personal weaknesses when it comes to just being attentive to a lot of different things, as well as jumping accurately into an object throw, which is an issue for me, so... Yeah, I don't know how many other playtests you've seen so far. Seppo, if I try cheesing it, I don't think it's going to be worth a while to try to cheese it. Like, if you're talking about the method that Kaza mentioned earlier with jumping off the thwomp and trying to jump around to Bowser, no. Don't think I'll try it. And actually, the first thing I was trying in the earliest attempts was to see if I could do something interesting with the fact that the bone shell can jump on top of fire. But the fire is actually placed in such a way that even with the randomization of shots, it just doesn't get in a favorable position for you to get any kind of jump with the bone shell still intact, So the positioning here is not going to be as cheese-friendly as you might think. Nope. Now, welcome back, by the way, Seppo. Okay. No, no, this is going to be a squish. If you are farther away from the blaster will shoot a shell more consistently. Right, because then you're not within that disable range. Sometimes I think it is because of the existing shell limit on the screen has been reached, though. That I'm not getting the spawn because things are dying too slowly. So I don't know how much of my positioning is to blame here, but I'll keep that in mind, that if I do desperately need a shell, I'll just try to keep a distance, which I should be doing anyway, in order to give myself enough room to safely get in a shell after it has spawned. Okay. Let's get around this burner here. Okay, surprising hit there. Didn't think positionally that I was going to work out quite that well. Oh, no, no. Let's grab the shell. Okay. A lot of room for potential slip-ups, like getting hit by a shell, getting hit by the burner, etc. Nope. Next cycle. Don't want to mess with this. If we miss, we miss. It's better to stall and wait. Nope. Better to stall and wait. Once again, let's wait for this round here. Okay. This attempt is starting to go somewhere. We could have grabbed another shell. I don't think I'm going to bother. Nice windows in this part of the apartment. Yeah, we're taking those. So, Special World is going to be next. It's kind of interesting. This is resembling some of the exit points in some of the more recent Nintendo games. I'm thinking of NSMB 2 for some reason, but a lot of the NSMB games just have that end of Castle World transition where you're pointed off to Special Land. And momentarily saying, yeah, you showed up and you have no idea how long I've been on that. Well, now we do have an idea because we have 38 minutes, not including any time spent before our first checkpoint, but there wasn't that much time spent before our first checkpoint. We got that down fairly quickly, so... Look at Meng with a record on this. Somehow I'm not surprised that Meng managed to knock that down to a nice, clean clear. And thank you for all the GGs. Hard earned, I'm sure. And now, Hyperion Smokestack, you can go to bed because you don't want to stick around for World S. That's okay. Thank you so much for all of your continued support and viewership. And I'm sure the boost in morale was well worth it. So you have a good night. Momentarily Sane, did I ever beat that shell jumping level? No, I got within... I haven't looked at it since the weekend, and I got within the last jump, I think, 4 or 5 times in that session. But that's still on the to-do list. I have not looked at it or practiced it at all this week. Or done anything with it off stream. Anyway. Hey, I love the stylization of the thing that looks like a 1 there. Oh, this is like a bird. Look at that. So don't look it down. Why would we possibly want to look it down? Because it's a sky, and we don't know how high up we are. We might be very high up, in fact. Yeah, I love the design of that entrance. That's very neat. Oh, okay. No, we do want to get pushed, and then I want to hold on to the float, and then float to the right. So, because the track timing is going to be consistent the whole way through, so we just keep that in mind. Okay. No, I want to whip that, but I feel like there are going to be additional platforms that I'm supposed to land on, which I'll just need to work out the timing. But the timing for this first one here is fundamentally correct, I think. Now, I see. The feather drop there is to give you a feather at checkpoint. That's all it's doing there, so let's not be misled by that. Let's get back here and actually read what's going on. Yeah, that's correct. Ah, okay, so we need to survive this way and back and forth. Okay, no, need to let up on the cape a little bit earlier. And then... I wonder if I can go under, actually, instead of whipping my way through. But... yeah, momentarily sane, good call. I was about to say, this actually reminds me, oddly enough, of one of the bonus levels in Yoshi's Woolly World. Which is just constant flutter jumping over the sky. I think it's actually the World 1 bonus level in that game that does that to you. But it's also kind of a bottomless pit level that's all about fluttering and maintaining your position in the air. Nope, once again holding the jump too long, which oddly enough was actually a problem I had with playing as Peach in Super Mario 3D World. Sometimes you just want a nice crisp landing. You don't have the muscle memory to give that to you. Yeah. Not quite. I did bump my head a little bit, and that forced my position down a little lower than I had hoped. Okay, let's try this again. And up we go. Yeah, still having trouble with actually landing on the platforms there. Find that you do kind of need to let up pretty much as soon as you think that it's going to be beneath your feet. And with the cape, it's very tempting to just hold forever, but then you get outpaced very quickly by the falling platforms you see. So if you want to let up, if you do it too early, you just drop. I guess ducking would make it easier. That's very true. In terms of giving yourself a little bit more headroom to not get dunked. Not that I'm doing it. No, too early. Maybe that's the reference at the start, a duck. I like that way of thinking, momentarily sane. Didn't think it looked that much like a duck, though. I mean, if it talks like a duck and quacks like a duck, which I guess are the kind of same thing because they're a form of verbal expression. I don't know. It seems to have much more flight power than an actual duck, though. Whoops. Ah, okay, that track actually stays on. That's fine then. We should have just whipped it the first time and then jumped over gently the second time. And then that's checkpoint after that, so... Yeah, I really should have considered ducking as something I would want to do here. I hadn't sort of thought about it in conjunction with the cape float, though, and that's the thing that was getting me into trouble. Whoops. If everything can taste like chicken, then maybe everything can look like a duck. Huh. That's a philosophy paper right there. Whoops. Yeah, we definitely want a duck going into that one. Going from position 2 to 4. I want that one up, of course. Alright. Back we go. Nope. Nope. Too much holding. Momentarily saying I was kind of thinking about that, but I don't quite like the positioning on that. That if you try to go directly, you do kind of run the risk of just bumping your head against the yellow turn blocks. Like, your positioning would have to be a lot better than mine tends to be. No, let's not jump too early. I feel like creating some space with the cape whip is probably the right way to go, given that the platform at the end there does take you back up. But I may be wrong. We'll see about that. Yeah, losing a life at this point is not going to be a big deal, just because all you lose is checkpoint anyway, and that would have been a big deal in the last level if I hadn't gotten constantly refreshing 1-ups. There we go. Looks like I have to run up there and whip that. And then jump through here. Oh, and then I need to whip this with the first bounce. I need to whip both of them with the first bounce, and then... Let's see about this. Okay, need to float all the way there. Okay. Nice. Looks like this is going to be spin and then float. Oh, and then I just missed. But you can bounce up to the P, and then the P allows you to exit. And so yeah, a lot of strategic floating here. Floating out of a lot of those interactions just to give yourself enough horizontal room to maneuver. It's very focused in a way, momentarily saying, and that's the usage of the cape here is principally about the float, because you're never given either the headroom or the run speed to be doing much in terms of flight. So you wind up floating out of a lot of things that ordinarily wouldn't require you to slow down quite so much. But yeah, it is something that requires a bit of patience. Nice high bounces. Okay. Let's hold into this. Yeah, I'm not timing that well around the icicle interaction. Maybe I do need to go a little bit faster to land on a spring. There was one time where I was early, though, so we'll just have to go down there and sort out the timing. See how this is going to go. Okay. Right, because I'm going to be responsible for dropping the icicle. There we go. And so I do need to adjust my timing accordingly, because I'm always going to be the one who triggers that. So. Okay. No, it looks like I do need to whip it on the left side before I land on the blooper. That was very clear to me visually, I just failed to execute it. Okay. Now, why would I want to whip that muncher there? I'm not... I think it's probably mostly just constraining space there, but I'm not exactly sure what's going on with it just yet. Possibly... Well, I mean, the coins there seem to indicate that I should be trying to drop it. Oh, because it is going to activate some kind of switch mechanism, by the looks of it. Or at least allow me to get back to the switch mechanism. Nope. Let's not do that. So yeah, okay, let's read that a bit more accurately. I will need a couple of switch activations here. Now, that's going to, yeah, toggle the on-off switch again when it drops. So yeah, I do need to just drop that muncher and then keep on going. And then things will work out. Nope, lost too much momentum there. That seems pretty standard though in terms of how we're going to get from platform to platform. I think it's pretty visually clear at first glance. Okay. Nope. Once again, I should actually use the duck jump much more often than I do. Just to correct for an additional tile of height. Oh, I double tapped it. Okay, that's not good news. Yeah, interesting usage of one-ups throughout this entire super world to essentially make the continue behavior with game over not matter. Okay, no, you need enough of a speed boost from the springs that you can fly underneath the one-way panels, and so I was kind of reading that as I went, and I just did not adjust to the positioning very accurately, so I do know what's supposed to happen. I think it's fairly clear. Nope, once again. Yeah, that's kind of true that it's something that Nintendo doesn't really require you to do. Nintendo generally gives you tons of headroom, though. Like the... whoops, double tapped. The sort of problem that one often runs into Mario Maker... in Mario Maker where, you know, having something like the mushroom can sometimes be a liability with low ceilings and low corners and such. It seems like that rarely ever happens in actual Nintendo mainline Mario because they just don't design levels that would cause that kind of trouble, right? Like, whoops, cut too much momentum there after hitting the trampoline. It's the same way with a lot of things involving indication in this game as well. There's a lot of stuff that's just never comes up in the standard Nintendo Mario because they just don't do that in the level. Like they don't create situations where certain things that would, say, make you less powerful for having a power-up would actually happen. Which is kind of interesting, because I think certain power-up designs or implementations in this game, like the NSMB propeller suit, for instance, really do have a massive problem with stripping you of some essential power. Oops. Once again, too many double taps. Yeah, because generally with a Nintendo power-up progression, you don't want to feel less capable. Of course, you have a lot of situations in Super Mario World originally where that actually was an issue with items like the Fire Flower, where often the Fire Flower would just feel like it's, you know, something that does not have a cape float, especially because you spend so much time on Yoshi in that game. That's the Fire Flower is basically useless in that context. There we go. Okay, yeah, we'll take it. You know I'm going to check this, right? You know I'm going to check it. Okay. Alright. Well, I'm glad I checked it. And glad that that was something that was accommodated. So, that's some good anticipatory secrets design right there. Not going to look down on that. Mang went to record on this one as well. Momentarily sane. I think the thing about Mario's target audience is that at a very early stage, age just ceases to matter, I think. In some ways, there are some video games that are easier for children who don't come in with preconceptions. I find that Sonic the Hedgehog might actually be a case of that, in fact, where if you come into Sonic the Hedgehog, I've always observed, as somebody who's experienced with Nintendo-style platformers, you'll actually die to a lot of stuff that kids don't die to, because you have a totally different set of expectations. Okay, so we're supposed to lower this, get on top of the munchers, and then continue. I'm going to lose too much star time here, but at least I understand what's going on. Cool concept. Love that little pillared entrance as well. Okay. Okay, not great timing there on the platform, I guess. I'll have to figure out how to adjust that. It seemed like the platform was a bit late relative to getting on the munchers. Let me see if I can do anything to figure that out. So I gotta say, I'm momentarily saying, I always really enjoyed the Senate politics element of the prequel trilogy. Just absolutely lapped that up. I feel like it's one of those really idiosyncratic things about the prequel films that nobody just sort of generally making mass market popular entertainment would do, but that's because George Lucas isn't just making mass market popular entertainment, right? Like, he's making films that are very personal and just oddball in ways that I think are often underappreciated. But yeah, that is one of those things where, like, you know, I find that I have a very severe difference of opinion with people over the prequels often, and even when they first released, that was already the case. That I think I had a very different appreciation of what they were trying to do, and the fact that they didn't really have a kind of focused audience, but that they were just kind of you know, willing to indulge in things that, in most cases, when it comes to popular cinema, would just be focus tested out of the way and just out of existence. I never fell into the prequel backlash. I think they do have some issues with craft that mostly came as a result of how early they tried to get into doing everything in front of green screen, which does affect a lot of staging and blocking in a way that makes, you know, some of the composition seem clunky and some of the actors feel like they're out of their element. Of course, George Lucas has never really been much of an actor's coach to begin with. Not much of an actor's director. But, you know, I find that it's really too easy to get caught up on stuff like that and miss the big picture. There's also a lot of stuff I appreciate newly about the prequels now because they might have been fairly standard expectations at the time, but are no longer, such as the quality of a lot of the fight choreography and direction that, you know, a lot of popular cinema is just so visually drab these days from the standpoint of just basic fight choreography that the prequels actually look extremely dynamic if you go back to them. But I only recently caught up on the Clone Wars animated series, actually. I was very pleased with it. I was always more familiar with the original 2003-ish. I want to say 2003 to 2005 Tartakovsky Clone Wars micro shorts, which recently finally made their way into Disney+. But yeah, that of course was just sort of completely rebooted with the Clone Wars CG series, and it took me a long time to finally catch up on that, but I did earlier this year, and I was really astonished by the quality of some of the material. Kind of felt like it was the completion of what a lot of the prequel world building was actually trying to do. Okay, what am I doing with this spike ball here? Let me think about this mole. I feel like I do want to get off the mole and maybe back to the piranhas if I'm able to do that turnaround. And then the spike ball comes over and then rolls to the left and then allows me to go somewhere. Let me see if I can acknowledge the raid. Let's get to a position of safety first, and that's actually a position of death, but you know, you get the idea. Let's acknowledge the raid from I Am the Supernova, who I know has already played Gilmore's World here, because I think I saw you on some of the speed records. Last playing Celeste. I hope Celeste has been going well. I don't know if you're still working on A-side speedruns or B-sides or something else, but... And Eli, welcome. Eli, Supernova has been sending me a whole bunch of your levels on viewer levels lately, and so we've been enjoying some of those quite a bit. And glad you could make it. Speedrunning A-sides, okay. Excellent. Hope that's been treating you well as a bit of a break from your own contraption making. I mean, I shouldn't just straight up miss that to begin with, but I wonder if the big piranha is hittable on the side next to the booze. I feel like maybe that's the way to do it. That it is kind of an accuracy check on the booze, perhaps. But we'll get back there and try it. Whoops. And Spastic Eli, my username in this game is just the same as it is on Twitch. So it's not showing here, but My Twitch channel name is my Mario Maker name. Unless you were asking something else completely. So. Okay. Over we go. More sandbagging than anything. Okay. Well. Somebody's got to bag that sand. Okay, it's been a while since I've returned to Celeste. I don't know if I'll have the time or inclination to go back to it anytime soon to mop up some of the stuff I didn't do. You almost want me to keep spinning there to figure it out. Yeah, I'm probably missing something really obvious. There's going to be the claw drop on the mole. I feel like I should look at that properly since it's not going to be a time-sensitive element. Oh, you know what? It's not a time-sensitive element, so... I mean, obviously, positionally, I do need to get the claw drop. Okay, you got a mole there. Stomping on the mole is going to drop the spike ball. I feel like I should be able to go mole to spike ball for sure, with the highest possible jump off the mole. There we go. And then I just need to ride the spike ball all the way over, so. How's the stream going here? Well, it was going okay until the World 4 boss. The World 4 boss with Bowser over all the burners while you're trying to hit him with a bone shell. That was a bit of a jam. That was actually a lot of jam. There was a whole jar of strawberry jam. No. No, momentarily saying is because the maker is Gilmore. So it was actually Super Gilmore World, but then as I was saying, I was typing Super Gilmore World into my stream title, and I thought, okay, let's just call it Happy Gilmore World, even though I've never actually liked anything with Adam Sandler other than Punch Drunk Love, which is very non-standard when it comes to his particular portfolio. Alright. Up we go. I mean, many super worlds are actually happy worlds. So we might as well just roll with it. Okay. Let's try this again. And back down. Well, at least I know what the correct interaction is now. The small and spike ball down here. It's just that I need a much better curvature there so I don't run into that problem. Maybe I am supposed to curve around it to the right. But previously when I did it successfully, I did curve to the left, so... And okay, up we go. And back down. And back up. Yeah, I keep trying to hedge on that to give myself space to move to the left before the spike ball comes down, and instead I just missed them all. And yeah, Melon Run / Gilmore, thanks for dropping by for so long. And I hope to get through the rest of it in this sitting, but whether I do or not, you'll find out on VOD, I'm sure. So thanks once again for coming by and witnessing that brutal battle with Bowser earlier. I'm sure it's useful playtesting information all around, no matter how well or how poorly I've been doing, so. We'll try to push through it, though. I should be able to do the rest. Unless there are major surprises and roadblocks to come, which may be the case, given that this is, after all, World Special. Whoops. The world is supposed to be optional, so don't feel obligated to finish everything. Well, no. I mean, my attitude on optional content is that I'm going to do it, so we're going to do it. Okay, up we go. So yeah, you might not require me to do it, but I require myself to at least put in a decently sized effort. I feel like I should wrap around the right side. There's just too much of a problem there if I try to cut momentum to the left. And I kind of want to wrap around going right to left on the spike ball anyway, right? So, whoops. I'm not past checkpoint, am I? No, I didn't think so. Okay. Just checking. You would think nobody actually gets caught by the one-way panels there, but I've demonstrated otherwise, it seems. And down we go. Okay, this time we are going to overshoot and wrap around the right side. Much better. Much, much better. Yeah, it seems like that correction was exactly what it took. Okay, nice boost of progress there, actually. And yeah, momentarily saying that's a sign of complacency here, to look over at chat when Boom Boom is still in my way. That's not the first time I died to a Boom Boom ending today, but... And Sharp Dragos, welcome. Anyway, I was about to say something. Yes, about the checkpoints that occasionally give you power-ups as well for additional tries. Some of the early levels in this set, you know, as a kind of opposite to what Nintendo usually does with checkpoint logic, they are checkpoints that don't give you a power-up when you touch them normally, but do give you a power-up upon respawn. Thank you for the follow. And it's like that with some of the 1-ups, which was very helpful with the boss I was stuck on earlier, the one that I beat just as Momentarily Sane came in. Where the point is that in the Super World system, because the worlds kick you out all the way back to the start if you hit a game over, the infinite extra lives are a form of checkpoint regulation and protection, I guess, to ensure that the player never loses the checkpoint, just by way of never hitting game over. So... Anyway, that segment is all fairly relaxed after taking care of the mole. I kind of want to check this, but let's not be silly. Let's just grab Boom Boom and move on. And yeah, I mean, you know, putting one up at a checkpoint doesn't necessarily guarantee the player will win. It just guarantees that they don't crash out from losing checkpoints, unless, of course, they instinctively hit the restart button. Okay, I'm a couple of seconds, actually many seconds, behind Supernova. Very recognizable at that White top hat. Yeah, good point about saying I would do the optional content. I have done a fair bit of it over the course of this super world. Oh, are we on the last one already? That doesn't seem... Oh, no, because that's going to unlock the 4th level after we reveal it on the map. So let's do number 3. Unsunken ghost ship. Okay, that's going to be fish in the air, which, you know, where else would a fish be? Oops. Let's catch up on some of these jumps here. I was slightly behind, but... No. That had to be a spin jump. I wasn't quite sure what I was landing on there, and so I just pushed the wrong button entirely. Yeah, I just need to be very quick when it comes to switching between jump types on a moment's notice. Yeah, it is raining, and of course that's when all the fish decide to fly. All the cheeps. Whoops. All the large-sized cheeps intending to gobble everything up. Okay. Doing a bit of an adjustment jump. Whoops. Wrong kind of adjustment. Okay, here we go. Very springy down below, and whatever's controlling every mechanism here. Okay, no, I'm jumping on that. It's giving me a bone shell, but then I need to spin out of the bone shell. And unfortunately, yeah, the spin jump out of the bone shell is just a dismount, right? So I need to actually just take the bone shell with me and not jump until I've captured it. Ah, no, I know what's going on now. I was continuing to spin jump because I was anticipating that going into the spike ball. I should not do that. Landing on a bone shell is going to bounce immediately off the chomp, and I need it to hold down normal jump, otherwise I will accidentally dismount. Yeah, the issue is that because I was anticipating a spin jump on the spike balls, I was dismounting the bone shell immediately upon hitting it, when the correct interaction there is to keep it. Like this. Okay. Yeah, as soon as I understood that, that goes really smoothly. 35. Probably telling me about time, 35 seconds. Ah, 35 second survival timer, okay. Not Super Mario 35 or anything. Wow, look at the Bowser Jr. flight pattern here as he stomps up and down. He does kind of camouflage himself up top as he repositions. So that's going to be the major thing we're looking for, so... Let's take a look at my entry time. It's going to be 2:90, so we're going to try to survive till 2:55 on the clock, this round at least. So yeah, we need to just go back and forth and watch Junior, because Junior's positioning is going to be the thing, other than everything being tossed our way anyway. And momentarily saying, yeah, I agree with Supernova that the Super Mario World soundtrack has always been a great favorite of mine. SB1 as well, of course. But Super Mario World, I think, is particularly special. Yeah. Yeah, in general, I feel like the new compositions specifically for Mario Maker, have been very well integrated into their home styles. And... Whoops. Nope, got caught there. Wasn't watching Junior because I was trying to reposition myself there. I love the soundtrack to 3D World generally, actually. I mean, you only hear a small slice of it in Mario Maker. The 3D World music is quite a bit more extensive rather than what you hear over here. But yeah, I felt like the big band sound of 3D World just pretty much completely nailed what the tone of that game was in its entirety. Let's get over here, get into Hedor. Let's see if there's some kind of balloon check. Guess not. That's the balloon check. Can I go in here? No, that's just there to be decorative. Alright, let's not be too fancy. So yeah, P-Balloon check is just when you pop out, in case you get zapped before you enter the P-Door. And thank you for the GGs. Yeah, I do kind of wish there were more selectable music tracks to work with in terms of the ones that you can patch into sound effects. Partly because, you know, after playing enough Mario Maker, you just hear everything very quickly in a limited number of customizable contexts. I'm glad you're all enjoying the new GG emote that much. It is absolutely gleaming. Here's S, weirdly shaped 4, Cosmic Cruiser. And yeah, we'll need a bit of a better takeoff jump over here. No, I do need... no, that's fine actually, because the shell will allow me to get off the boo. So I just need to curve into it after the initial claw drop. And yeah, need to hold jump into that same kind of interaction that we were having trouble with in an earlier level in this world. Nope. At the point at which I am spinning on top of the bloopers, that's a good time to already switch to the B button, just to anticipate the hold on B that I'm going to need with the shell. Not quite. I do need to keep the shell because otherwise I don't get a chance to jump off the boos. Icicles there seem to imply either holding still or... no, shell invincibility, actually. But I would need to get out of that very quickly. Today's Friday. Yes, Supernova. That was a point of confusion for somebody earlier in the stream. Apparently it doesn't feel like Friday. Looks like the fire bar is timed very precisely to just kind of constrain some space. And yeah, Supernova, I saw your new level come up, I think. I also saw Meng's new level come up, which was apparently built with a special dedication for Supernova. Okay, I see. So depending on when you wake up on a bone shell, either way, the slide on the blaster is going to reposition you, but you do need to go rather quickly because the scroll picks up speed very rapidly here. And you need to get that bounce. So bounce on top of the boo to the left and then spring off of the spring to hit the on-off switches. So I'm a little bit slow around that entire turnaround. Yeah, once again. Oh, I see. I'm just kind of falling into that boo. I do, in fact, need to do a bit of a jump, I think, to properly reposition myself. Whoops. And yeah, looking forward to all the new material from you folks. Glad you're all so active as makers. Unlike some of us. You know, Meng, I was actually thinking that as soon as I saw your supernova level come up, I saw that and thought, okay, this definitely has naked pipes. I haven't even looked at that yet. I have no idea what your concept is or what the level looks like, but I knew as soon as I saw Supernova's name on it that it was a naked pipe thing. Or was likely to be. I'm doing something wrong here. I wonder if I'm supposed to get on top of the Falling Blaster to reposition myself slightly before the next boo. I don't know about that, though. The arrow seems to be telling me differently. Yeah, my position is just totally off, I think. That's... Maybe I'm just misreading that completely. Oh, no. Nope. Need to be a little faster on that. Okay, no, I need to be holding left going into the shell wake up. If I do that, then that's going to be actually very crisp and accurate. You need to hold left going into it. Not into that one, though. I do need to continue going right off the next boo. Natcat, you're going to have a new level available for me next year, okay. You've really seen into the future now. Just looking at what's going on there, I wasn't quite clear. Oh, no, I actually do need to take invincibility there, let the thwomp stack past me, and then get on top of a red cannonball. I see. Yeah, it's very likely that my stream time will change by the end of the year. Like, the current super late schedule I work on will not hold in the long run. But no, it's going to be 2 consecutive shell bounces off that, then jump out of the shell into the red pipe. So yeah, I mean, I've been on a consistent schedule lately, but some of the start times will likely change. Sometime in the, well, next few months, I guess. Maybe not next few weeks, but particularly as we get out of the pandemic, that's going to reorganize a couple things here. To the right, there were blue skull platforms. Let me see what you were talking about there. Possible I haven't read that far ahead. Down. Miss. Okay. No, I think I saw all of the platforms that I needed to interact with. Interesting ice block in the bottom right. I wonder what that ice block is all about. Or if it's just a bit of a decorative highlight. Very satisfying when you do punch everything accurately here. Oh, I see. The ice blocks are there to just to connect the icicles gracefully, I think. It's purely an aesthetic thing. Oops. Whoops. And yeah, momentarily saying no worries about torturing me with unrefined maps. Okay, some worries perhaps, but you know, we are pretty playtesting focused stream in general here, so that's not out of the ordinary. And just apart from how my stream tends to get such really, really good makers all the time, which, you know, it's very much their doing, not mine. Gotta cultivate the right crowd. Or something like this. Okay. Yeah, we'll see what we do with the stream times going forward. It's kind of nice for my purposes that I have a bit of a crossover between NA and EU audiences, which if you kind of do early afternoon time in NA, you could get as well, but for a couple of reasons, it's very unlikely I would be able to do that anymore. That actually did used to be my old stream time. Last year, I would do blocks that were 12 hours apart. And yeah, Netcat, you and I are going to have to race to get a level up by 2022. But I was working on some stuff, but it has stalled a little bit recently. Partly because I've been distracted by playing some other things from time to time. Oh, whoops. Kind of nice to have Mario Maker as a main game that's just always kind of there week to week in the background, though. It's been a long time since I had anything quite like that. As a very consistent long-term presence. Whoops. Oh, I had to control my height just a little bit better. Okay. Alright, to the left we go. And up the pipe. Checkpoint. Oh, Morton. And then I have to fall into the shell. After I fall into the shell, then... Is the implication that I need to go back up the pipe? Oh. Oh, I see. It's kind of a timing challenge where I do need to get on top of the shell multiple times. Yeah, Meng works at an incredible pace. Actually, Supernova has been going at a crazy pace lately as well in terms of getting those levels done considering their complexity. I should actually follow the arrow for a change, hey? Nope, need to get on top of the Cheep, and then that will bounce me on top of the cloud. Nope. Yeah, I think maybe we should follow the recommended curvature, but you know how I am about actually following markers. Doesn't really tend to happen around here, so... Nope. Yeah, you fall and then you kind of jump out and then curve, perhaps. And yeah, level building is something that I think gets faster with practice. A lot of difficult creative tasks are, in fact. It's a fairly typical experience. Oh, I wanted to sneak my way through, and that was not accurate piloting. Do understand the general shape of things, though. Netcat's actually gotten slower with practice. Well, I mean, it has to keep pace with your own sense of ambition when it comes to levels as well, though, right? There's going to be a bit of a push and pull where a lot of ready familiarity with just sort of constantly thinking about levels is going to get some things done quickly. Going to present some solutions very promptly when you need some kind of tool for a design problem, but at the same time, that has to be balanced against things taking longer because you're building more complex stuff that requires much more testing. Okay. Up we go. Let's curve around us. Accurately this time. Okay. Swamp. Ooh, much too slow, I guess. Unless I'm supposed to jump over the icicles? No, I'm just supposed to trigger the thwomp and immediately go around. I was spending too long waiting for the thwomp to activate when I should have followed the path pretty much directly upon that trigger. Whoops. Yeah, momentarily saying in my experience, waiting for inspiration never actually works in terms of inspiration doesn't come until you actually poke around. Well, in my case anyway, but with the game, I think it's true of a lot of people I know in various creative arts as well, that you kind of need to do a lot of poking around and experimenting and feeling like you're doing something totally aimless until something actually sticks. Like, I mean, every concept is kind of a terrible and underdeveloped concept until it isn't, right? Yeah, too slow there. I do need to jump out of the cloud. If I jump out of the cloud, the gravity mechanics here should be able to get me over. Very interesting use of the low gravity in general here. A lot of this would not be possible otherwise. In terms of having all these really interesting float timings and Morton's final bossy appearance here. Oh, we got in directly. That's kind of a speed trick that I didn't know about. In fact, that's going to get me out much earlier. I think I just need to slide under these guys. Oh wow, barely made it. Lucky for me that they have the float going on. Okay. Yeah, sure. No, we'll take the 50 coins first. And not die. And not go through the door. Boom Boom and Winged Boom Boom are just going to stand here. Now, why would we want to do this? Because we can. This is a terrible idea. Okay, no key. Never mind. Here are the Yoshis that we rescued off to the side. GG. Yeah, we'll do the whole circuit. Why not? Clean it all up since we're not really going for any kind of speed timing here. Reactivate a bonus music while we're at it. Now, Mr. Electric Dude, let's not speak too soon. Also notice the GGs here that the layout is actually vaguely reminiscent of my emote. I only noticed that once Electric Dude actually posted that in chat, so... Yeah, as Supernova was saying. Oh, no time to check the pipes, unfortunately. Let's not die to... Well, can't really die too much here, but we'll miss the one-up, and that'll be a nice way to go. Well, thank you so much for all the GGs. Look at that 2-minute record here on Cosmic Cruiser. I believe that's it. I believe that's actually the end of the Super World, and that's... I'm going to say farewell to this one. So yeah, really complete experience from Gilmore there. The entirety of the Special World honestly felt like a really nice, efficient dessert after what we went through to get through Castle 4. So pretty happy with that all around. And yeah, there's a lot of Gilmore levels that I actually have not caught up on, especially the ones that were made during my hiatus from Twitch, sort of in the tail end of last year and the beginning of this one, so we'll have a lot to go back and play eventually. It's not going to happen today. I think I'm quite comfortable ending this stream having done everything in the super world. But, you know, yeah, I guess I just missed a wall jump gorge as the only one other than super world since 4YM. It's short, but I think I'll save that as a stream warm-up or something at some point. Nice to just have the super world together in a nice solid package. Took me a little under 4 hours, which I find, you know, 3 to 4 hours or so is actually the optimal time for super worlds, depending on how many levels they have. Just kind of perfect length for a single sitting and a single stream. But very substantial experiences across the board regardless. Let's check some of the clear times, just out of curiosity. Not clear times, rather, clear rates out of curiosity. But yeah, some of the early levels, that's kind of what I expected, especially with a lot of the gentle resets. And we're not going to try to beat the clear check time, but that's particularly after seeing some of what is possible in terms of spinning. How do they jump without feet? That's a very good question. Just a lot of... I mean, I guess they don't have abdomens either as piranha plants, so it's not like it's abdominal strength or something giving them lift. They're just naturally very bouncy. It's funny because this description also pretends that it's Roy's castle. Did we collect 4 big coins? I actually don't remember. It takes this long to get to the first level without a vertical subworld. Hammer Hideout. Castle of Morton. That was the World 3. Okay, yeah. Ah, yes, okay, Crowded Cavern. That's exactly what we were talking about, the rocket barrel level. That is very cleverly referred to in Tropical Freeze when you go back to DK Island. This one, surprisingly low. Congratulations to Eli on the record, by the way. Oh yeah, no, that's actually only 5 or 6% on these. So this one... Considering how much I died on it, 2.3% feels like it's something that is higher than what I got. I think I actually managed to lower the clear rate on this substantially. I don't know what it was going in, but I think I took that clear rate and just spiked it into the ground. Momentarily saying, when it comes to clear rates, it depends a lot on whether you want it to be something like a traditional Super World experience, or something that's a bit more of a focused platforming challenge. I find that my sweet spot as a player is actually kind of 1 to 5% or so, in terms of something that'll find very engaging for a but not too technically demanding, but still something that keeps me on my toes, but which is doable in a decent amount of time. Didn't really feel like a 1.6% in that final level, but I think maybe this was one where I understood certain things quickly. Anyway, so much for Gilmore. We're going to send you folks off on a raid fairly soon after I scan around to see who is hanging about and available. Schedule-wise, viewer levels is supposed to return tomorrow and the day after in the same block of time, so looking forward to some of the new material that we have from all of you, or some old material if you don't have anything new to show me. With that all out of the way, thank you very much for joining me for this session, and once again to Gilmore/Melonrind for making these levels and showing us all a very, very good time. Thanks for watching. We'll send you off in a moment, but in the meantime, whether it is a good night or good morning, or even afternoon or something completely different, fare thee well.